We have an anchor that keeps that soul
steadfast and sure,
while the billows roll fast into the rock which cannot move, grounded firm and deep in the Savior's love. And so we are told that when a ship lands and wants to have stability, it is a certain anchor that is dropped into the sea. And anope, may God be your anchor.
Amen.
Sorry, Nashrine. Let's repeat together. Sorry, Nashrine. Today promises to be another beautiful one. But before that, yensha yehun cry na yenko.
Wabana wonika ni mokeje Matthew sanikpapale icho niji nyongma ke kwawe keje kuku niji nyongma enyo ni ike shi ike ame ake nyehimo ke yili ni fale hiwo eja ake anokwale mike onye ake keji nyeye himo ke yili ni tamosinapi wule nye ake gone ake fa ye bi eke ya jen ni efa ni noko be ni nyafi. And the English version also says that he replied, "Because you have so little faith, I tell you the truth. If you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, move from here to there, and it will move. Nothing will be impossible for you."
Oh, nothing will be impossible for you. And he replied, "Because you have so little faith, I tell you the truth. If you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say to these mountains, move from here to there, and it will move. Nothing will be impossible for you." Dear friends, this morning I eulogize you on the team. Nothing will be impossible for you. Look, faith is something that cuts across every religion. Whether you are the other side or whether you are here, faith is basically something that you have not seen, but you have an assurance and a hope that it is possible. This morning I am calling upon you to believe what Jesus has said. Or say, and he replied, and so Jesus was telling them, because you have little faith, have I not told you that these things will come to pass? Man can't now so if you can master a certain level of courage and be able to accentuate your faith and predicate it upon the word of God, just as little as the mustard seed, snap your bucket, I tell you that nothing will be impossible. This morning, we come to your homes with words of faith. Arise in faith. Move out in faith. Go to the hospital in faith. Go to the market in faith. Go to the classroom in faith. Look, go to your debtors in faith, because nothing is impossible.
Amen.
May God bless you. May he make his face to shine upon you. And note that word, God. All things are possible. Let us pray. Father, we are grateful to you this morning for your words of encouragement. Yes, we are down, but you have said, when we were down, you lifted a standard that brought us into a state of encouragement. Say anope ma so empo abra ya boto abra ye ni jidie. As we go through this morning's program, we ask your glory and your grace upon us. We also pray for our viewers who will be joining us from different places. Be with them, assist them. And when we bring the curtains to a close by 10 a.m., we'll lift up our hands, and with a dance we will say, glory be to God. Dear brethren, shout hallelujah with me.
Hallelujah.
Oh, fine, I can shout hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Come over, because ye did. Yes, this morning we are serving you sumptuously, and my dear cook has Please,
Yeah.
let's go.
So from 2017 till today, we're having a story that says that 12 have been found guilty after Major Maxwell Mahama was lynched by a mob in 𝗟𝗏𝗘𝗍𝗏. So finally, the justice has been served, and GRA has also said that they have exceeded their tax collections in the last 20 years. So this year has been a very fruitful year for them. They were given a target, they have exceeded the target. But is that target reflecting in our daily lives? That's the question we are asking ourselves this morning or today. Because if you are telling us that you wanted to get 10,000 cedis, and this time around you've gotten like 20,000, the rest of the 10,000 that is left, where is it? Is it reflecting?
Ask them.
Yeah. If it's not reflecting, let us know when it's time for you to also call in. You call. If you want to send us a text, you can do so on our numbers, or you can send us a comment on Facebook, WTV Ghana, and we'll be there to read it out for you. If there's a question too, we'll be there to do it for you. I want to say thank you to our sponsors, Multi-Credit Savings and Loans. For that savings you're looking for this year, you want to start a savings, don't forget them at all. 𝗟𝗏𝗘𝗏 Insurance Company for all your insurance needs, especially that car you bought this year and you want to insure that car. 𝗟𝗏𝗘𝗏 is there to do that for you.
Yes. Methodist University. Yesterday, Methodist University was here. They gave us a lineup of their programs. The February admission is still on now. We are almost ending January, so we are concentrating on the February admission.
Finally,
please.
the 65 days is over.
Yes. So go grab your forms, fill it. If you are within any of the dioceses, go there, get a form, and remember, all Methodists will have their forms for free. 150. Yeah, the Achemwoke Kenya is free admissions for all Methodists. Yes.
Yes. KFK Foods. This morning, from here, myself and Reverend, we are going to enjoy our breakfast.
I am fasting.
You see, we have not even entered into the latest season. So
no, I am fasting. This one now you go chop.
No.
Say it's you. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So me, I'm going to. Reverend
but
says
after breaking my fast, I will definitely.
You're going to take lunch.
I will definitely.
You're doing 6 to 12.
No, 6 to 3. 6 to 3.
And supper now.
No, make up breakfast and lunch now.
It's a brunch and supper.
Now me day dinner
Okay. So KFK Foods, you can also get your breakfast, your lunch, or your supper from them. They are open from 7 through to 5 p.m. each day, Monday through to Saturday, here in Accra, and Tema from Monday to Sunday. And the Tema branch, that's the Community 25, and next has an event center. So if you want to host your parties, your friends to a treat or something, you can also get your food and every other thing associated with a party or a wedding reception from there. Sankofa natural spices.
Yeah.
Sankofa, you need that natural spice for your food. You want to spice up your meat. You want to spice up your
scent in the food. Yeah.
Then you are thinking about it. You still think. So grab a sachet of the Sankofa natural spice, any of the spice that you want for your soup, your stews, and marinating your chicken, your fish, and your meat.
And then asem kesi so.
Yeah.
So after we have brought to you health segment and insurance minute, today we are bringing you one of the biggest asem ever produced on our shows. And so my producer want me to tell you our one and only Emmanuel Ashon, the indefatigable Emmanuel Ashon. Producer is bringing to our studios one of the Colossus, one of the magnets of Ghanaian business.
Yeah.
This man is not only a Methodist who grew up from a very humble beginning, but was also put on a pedestal of the African map and the global map for that matter. I am hiding the name, but this morning we bring a Colossus and a magnet.
But you are saying you're hiding the name. But if our viewers are on our Facebook page, they would have seen the picture,
dear friends,
the flyers flying around. That's why I always insist.
We have the almighty Dr. 𝗟𝗏𝗘𝗏𝗏 in our studios, and any papa bedin komo how he grew up, how he became a young man through all the thick and thin, and how finally he retired. Please stick and stay, and when we come back, we will boom. Devo
is up next. accurate, informative, and Christ-centered news content, then tune in to Wesleyan Television every weekday at 12 noon for undiluted news stories in Ghana and across the globe. The WeTV Midday News brings you updates on social, Christian, political, and community developmental stories across the 16 regions of Ghana, this and every weekday at 12 noon for all your news updates. Wesleyan Television, reaching out to the world.
The news is read to you by Anita na Afarley Quarcoo and 𝗟𝗏𝗍.
Nyansa ashese 𝗟𝗏𝗍𝗘. Let the little children come to me and do not hinder them. Matthew chapter 19 verse 14. Oh yes, let the little children join hands with WTV every Sunday for a special children's service with the Methodist Church Ghana at 10 a.m. with repeat at 2 p.m. on WTV and Facebook. Nyansa ashese 𝗟𝗏𝗍𝗘. Wesleyan Television, reaching out to the world.
Meye mi fie Christian fie, mema mi kun aye Christiani, na me mofra aye Christian fo, mema mi fie aye Christian fie. Ban papam aye dwumadi a ekoso ewo WTV so. Ekasa afa ekwaya ye tete ye mofra. Ekwanya yebefa so ama yaware ayefe ne yaware edimu. Efie entitiye anase efie siesie ene efie nkomodie mu nso yenya ento nchen. Into me to sa frɛ se hwɛ WTV na niema pa bebre ewo WTV so enwumpa enkomodie papa eniema pa ebeboa me ne omienu ene yemfie koso ara na hwɛ WTV.
Nyaje ko lebi ne won kwenye kemba WTV lebi nuchumo no ni be shake oba twanye adafi ewie mo ni yo internet no ke agbene newspapers a me lebi no ko ba hanye oba je shishikeje saneni eje court ke bashe ni court sani efe diake. Today I'm trying oh Reverend, today I'm trying even God knows
@𝗟𝗏𝗍𝗘
Anita makai we actually gami
@𝗟𝗏𝗍𝗘. Okay, so for all those who know the name of court in Ghana, please
I remember
WhatsApp it to us through our line.
Sunday you
That's
see
right, that's right.
So it was Sunday.
Oh, yeah, Shark, you went to St. Peter's, eh? But now this has been a very long one.
A long journey.
Yes, you were just talking about it. The gruesome murder of this promising young soldier. But what are the details of the story? Let's punch in.
So the jury in the Major Mahama case has returned a anonymous guilty verdict on 12 out of the 14 persons standing trial for the death of Major Mahama. The 12 have been found guilty of counts of murder, conspiracy to commit murder, and abatement of murder. They have been sentenced to life imprisonment each for the counts they were found guilty of. The 12 includes the assembly member of the area who was accused of rallying the community to attack Major Mahama when the incident occurred. Meanwhile, 2 of the accused persons have been acquitted and discharged after the jury found them not guilty of the charges against them. The jury has been discharged and the convicts are awaiting sentencing by Justice Mariama Owusu. Attorney General Godfrey Dami, in an interview, expressed hope that the verdict will act as a deterrent to people who practice mob justice. So Godfrey Wadami says that the battle started way back in December 2017, where persons accused were committed to some trial at the High Court. So I want to give an update of what really happened in 2017. So Major Mahama was lynched at 𝗟𝗏𝗏𝗏 in the Central Region on May 29, 2017. While on duty, it was later narrated that a military officer had been taken for a robber. Following the incident, over 50 suspects were rounded up, out of which 14 were eventually screened for prosecution. They are William Barr, then Assemblyman for 𝗟𝗏𝗏𝗏, Bernard Asamoah alias Daddy, Kofi Nyame aka Abortion, 𝗟𝗜�10𝗏𝗏𝗏, Joseph Apiakubi, Michael Enim, and Bismarck Donko. The rest are John Bossi, 𝗟𝗜�10𝗏𝗏𝗏, Charles Quinning, Emmanuel Badu, Bismarck Abanga, and Kwajo Enima. The High Court in July 2022 overruled the submission of no case made by lawyers of the 14 accused persons in the Major Maxwell Mahama trial. So this is what happened in 2017, and the wheels of justice has grinded slowly. Finally, there is a verdict.
Wow. Ashafo nti mo bekaya asemi asemu aye nyina ye kan na ya boto 2017 no ho aton abrantie bia na ye frɛ no Captain Mahama at the time sesi ade ye hu se ya bona baso sanse ne se enche bia ne abona baso na atwere nchem no eto no mo bekaya sojafo ede no ko senka onkobo ban na onhwe ye galamse nsensemi a na ekosui na yese anopa sorry yese onenam a oye ne jogging a yese kromafo etugu ne so ene bridi brother he was mistaken for an armed robber, and we all still ask how possible it was done in that manner. But said ye papa Godfrey Dame Kano we ye kokobobi a de bo nipa nyina se so obi ayo bibia na onye ohwe na oburu nukum eye de friend of mob justice nipa bitugu no sukuna ososo beko. And so as we are speaking, 12 have been jailed, sentenced to death. And so ye jaw ye koba ye betena se ne adomu asuko de de nsemi ba ye encrophonum from somewhere no more and we'll be privileged to have our discussant tell us his side of the story.
So the judgment is that they have been sentenced to life imprisonment. Until the 12 will be there for life, for the rest of their lives.
Right.
So the next one.
Yes.
I'm still asking. Sikano akoshehin, akofahin.
Well, the money. See, for us as Ghanaians, it can be a BGB and we see it reflect in our pocket. By saying our pocket, but the monies that are collected must be used for what it must be used for. And so GRA is again applauding themselves for exceeding their targets again, but as to what end? Shika ingbeyo. Shikana yajeje. Do we see it reflected? Anyway, this Sunday, the GRA boss for Ashanti region joined us in service at the Nazareth Society. Wow. She joined us in service at the Nazareth Society. Madam, if you are watching, it's a good morning to you. But we are asking, but let's go into the story to see exactly what the content is.
Okay, so the Ghana Revenue Authority, GRA, collected tax revenue of about 113.06 billion Ghana cedis last year. 3.8 billion Ghana cedis more than it was taxed to collect. The performance represents a nominal growth rate of about 49.3% over the 2022 fiscal year, which the GRA described as a highest ever in the last 20 years. For the 2023 fiscal year, the authority was taxed to collect 106 billion Ghana cedis in tax revenue, representing a 40% growth over the 75.71 billion Ghana cedis collected for 2022. The revenue target was later revised to 109.19 billion Ghana cedis. In an interview, the Commissioner General of the GRA, Reverend Dr. 𝗦𝗍𝗍𝗏𝗏 said, "I am happy to announce that we recorded a year-on-year growth of 49.3%, the highest ever recorded in the last 20 years, and the highest tax to gross domestic products GDP ratio of 14.1% in the last 6 years. The story goes on and on.
Yes. In Aban Aoba so ye papa, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo na ban ne nyamamwe. One of their campaign promises was to move us from economy of taxation into economy of production. Inti na ye nyina ye adwene se anka mamwe die etojeje ebeko fom, but it was to the contrary. But the good news for GRA is that etoe nyina ye gigi bebrebe na no ye target a de ma omo ye esusudie a ye de ma omo no mapa ho kra nti ye osofo amishadai no okasa se baabia na eso mo gigi o magye ba yenso timamufo yenso ye bisa ye ho question ye WTV so ye kan also so ohwefo also so kan Sikanoi. But this and many others we are going to diagnose a little bit more in depth when we come back. The next story is another rather fascinating one. Now, go.
Mr. Francis Xavier Kojususu, Member of Parliament for Madina constituency, says Ghana must completely abolish the death penalty sentence and replace it with life imprisonment. He said the death penalty has outlived its usefulness and must be scrapped, and urged all to push for its swift abolishment. We must not be complacent. We must push the limits until Ghana becomes a complete abolitionist state, he said. In a statement issued by the MP, he said it did not come as a shock when on Wednesday, January 24, 2024, a court in Ghana imposed a sentence of death by hanging on 6 persons convicted for the offences of conspiracy to commit high treason and committing high treason. It said the sentence was made because treason and high treason remained capital offences in the 1992 Constitution of Ghana. The statement said the judgment had raised concerns regarding the status of the death penalty in Ghana in the light of gains made by the country to abolish the death penalty for ordinary crimes. It said though Ghana retained the death penalty in its constitution, the said provision has outlived until or has not served its purpose until January 24, 2024, when the court convicted 6 persons for treason and high treason and sentenced them to death by hanging. This raises serious questions about Ghana's commitment to fully abolish the death penalty. It is believed it is time for us to completely abolish the death sentence from the 1992 Constitution. So it said it was good news because Ghana had not executed anyone in the last 30 years, and all 178 persons on death row at the time of the abolition of the death penalty were all charged under the amended provision of the Criminal Offences Act.
One of the real privileges I've had is to deal with these people sentenced to life in death.
Definitely.
Yes, okay. So I've dealt with both people who have sentenced to death and people who are sentenced to life imprisonment.
Tell us about it. Tell us a brief story about it.
All right, so one of the things I realized is the level of remorseness. Yes, for both of them. So I was supposed to work on them and to help them go through their period of the sentence, the level of remorse. Now, for some of them, they think they didn't commit the crime. So there was this young man who was a Sunday school teacher of a certain church, obviously not the Methodist church, who accidentally went into the house of an expatriate around the Osu area. And whilst they were there talking, the guy just passed off and died. And so the guy was accused that he was the one who possibly strangled this. And this guy was telling the story. So usually what I do in a group therapy is I make everybody sit down in a circle and ask them to tell their stories. Okay. So on that day, that was the time of Honorable Atai. Yes. So I met him there at the maximum.
Did you say honorable at time?
Oh, why not? He's an honorable.
Okay.
Yes, honorable. Or your honorable baby. So we sat in a semicircle, and I asked people to tell their. So this young Sunday school boy, teacher, was telling the story of how he went into the room, and accidentally the guy died some way somehow. I've forgotten what really instigated the death, but he went to report to the police, and he became the first suspect. And
even after reporting the incident,
he didn't have a lawyer. Wow. At the end of the day, he was convicted and was sentenced to death by hanging. Now, there were similar, even the so-called Honorable Atai himself had become Osofo. He has repented. So the question we are asking ourselves is that, could the death sentence be an avenue to change? We are a Christian body and a Christian station. Into Nipani Yukuna,
me, I don't want.
Is there not a time for repentance?
I don't want the death sentence by hanging.
You want it by
if you are giving the person life imprisonment, it's fine.
Life imprisonment.
Yes, you stay there until
until
God
die.
calls you. Yes.
All right. Into Uncle Xavier Susu and okay, I'll say. Life sentence there. It has outlived its purpose. Please.
Maybe there should be other punishments.
If there is. So we will, but now in church. I remember when the Pulele dance came. You know the Pulele. People when Terrible Chaka died and the Pulele dance.
I was born around that time.
Oh, you were born around Pulele. Oh,
I even met him. He came to perform in our school.
Oh,
yes. In our school, so I got
everybody will hold the leg Pulele. And most ministers were concerned about the fact that church had become theatrical. Church had become drama. Ministers are acting. Say hey, or say hey. Musicians are acting. Church members are acting. Anaba Osofo is saying that things in church have become very, 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 very entertaining, and the essence of Christ is. But let's go into the story. Let's see.
So a video of Reverend 𝗟𝗏𝗘 preaching about the fixation of entertainment in churches have resurfaced online. In a video, the founder of the 𝗟𝗏𝗘 Ministries is heard expressing worry about the church's wanton love for entertainment at the expense of the core purpose of the church, listening to the word of God. When you go to these churches, sometimes I just imagine if there is no drum, there is no organist, there is no guitarist, and you take away all the music and the entertainment, many of our churches will die. I mean, you remove that, it will be like the oxygen support has been removed, and that is because the entertainment in our churches sometimes, I think, is too much, he added. He further stated that a pastor is invited to a convention to speak, and about over 2 hours, there will be one song after the other, one dance after the other, choreography, and somersaulting, and all of that. Citing kiosk,
now you even end the story. I think that this is where
he said something about the chop bar thing.
Okay.
I want to read that side. So it says that I have never entered a chop bar and they have said praises and worship before the food is brought to you. Okay. They know exactly why they exist. So as soon as you sit down, they come to you with a menu. They want to know what you want to eat because the purpose there is eating.
Okay. So you see, the reason I was saying I will stop you there is that the entertainment fraternity within the Christendom, usually the performing artists who are either the choreographers or the musicians won't agree with this one. They won't agree. Yes, because they also think that it's also an avenue to showcase themselves and also to be known. But more importantly, I wanted to say that this is where the Methodist Church is a church to attend. And all young people, if you are watching me, this is where our elders have been insistent in saying them. You see, as much as sometimes them goes overboard, they're also very careful that we maintain the tradition that makes us us. That especially on a divine service, the posture, the sanctuary, the selection of music, the selection of preaching topic, the posture behind the pulpit. I was told that a certain minister, not in the Methodist church, he went abroad and came with a lot of jewelries on his hand, a bit danukum, one or share golden teeth. So all the time when he's preaching, he's like, I want everybody to with all his teeth, so that this becomes purely entertainment. And this is where our church should be commended. Yeah, sorry, because we know that our elders are making sure that our church will be a place of entertainment.
I think that it even distracts the main reason why you are in church.
Yeah, exactly.
Because when you come in, you are in a lot of jewelries and all that. The person, most people listening to you would not even look at you, but they are not listening to you, but they're rather looking at what you have wore to church. And you still got all the attention. The attention should be on God and not you.
Yes. So if a minister of a charismatic church where supposedly we are trying to copy and bring to our church is now saying that it's not done, then it means we are doing something very, very important. I think when PR comes, we'll ask him about this. But I don't know if you'll be happy if your father is a rich man.
Oh yes, why not?
You'll be happy.
Yes, why not?
But you see, worth is relative. Sometimes it's dependent on geography and where you are coming from. Because the worth of a person in Ghana, when we say a billionaire, a Ghanaian billionaire, well, we don't have a Ghanaian billionaire. We only have a Ghanaian millionaire.
So don't mess my bubble. Let's go to the sports story. That sports story in there.
Oh, you want to go to the...
I don't want to read it, but I have to read it for the sake of that.
Okay, all right. Okay.
So the fact that they have
I wanted us to take that one for last, but once you
okay. Yes. So let's do that one for last.
Because there is something to say about the sports people. There is something to say. And in the let's talk about the millionaire. So somebody has taken Elon Musk off the peak. Let's read that one.
Bernard Arnault, a billionaire chairman and CEO of global luxury goods company LVMH, the entity behind dozens of luxury goods brands like Louis Vuitton, Sephora, is now the richest man in the world, passing Elon Musk. Arnault and his family's net worth grew to $207.8 billion after a $23.6 billion increase on Friday, passing Musk's $204.5 billion, according to Forbes' real-time billionaire list. The news comes after Musk Tesla struggled in the stock market Thursday, dropping 13%, with Musk losing more than $18 billion in net worth. Meanwhile, LVMH shares were soaring Friday, up over 13% as of 11 a.m. on the heels of news of strong sales. The market cap of LVMH reached $388.8 billion on Friday, compared to Tesla's $586.14 billion market cap. Now, in 2021, LVMH acquired Tiffany & Co. for nearly $6 billion, considered the largest luxury brand acquisition ever. Arnault's holding company backs a venture capital firm called Ugly Ventures, which Forbes reports invests in businesses like Netflix and ByteDance, the parent company of TikTok. Arnault has 5 children who work at LVMH. He recently appointed 2 of his sons to the LVMH board, alongside 2 other children who were already on the board, in a move to secure long-term family control.
This is why I wanted you to read the thing.
Yes.
Hey,
if my father is a billionaire. But what are you saying? I'm
sports. I'm a
This is
what I wanted you to read. The fact that the man has built an empire and has trained the children
to take over
and put them in strategic positions. When Uncle Ishmael comes, one of the questions I'll be asking him is the fact that Ghanaian businesses do not travel beyond the 2nd and the 3rd generation. One of the businesses I used to follow very much as a young boy is Apiaminka. I'll tell you.
Tell me why you've been following. They say he's doing well.
Yes, the fact that he is a Ghanaian person and started doing so well. I'm sure he will be a contemporary with Uncle Ishmael when he comes. But you see, this sports thing that they are disturbing us with, even talking into our ear. Well, let's read the story. Let's read the
So the
sports
Ministry
story.
of Youth and Sports have bemoaned the Black Stars' poor performance at the 2023 AFCON in Cote d'Ivoire.
That's all. I mean, so this one, this is not even.
So in the coming days, they are going to restructure the whole thing.
This is not
Dissolve
even
the
a
whole,
place to
the
go.
whole,
This is not
the
even,
whole group.
This is not even.
It's no news.
It's not news.
No,
it's
no,
not
it's no
news.
news.
So they are going to again theoretically put things across, and it's this and it's that and it's
we have
this.
played this one here, and we have played this one.
And this. Now, Yonko. Let's go into the newspapers. As for the sports thing, we are
tired.
We are tired. All right, on the front page of the Daily Graphic, we are still angry. We are. All right, truth and accuracy. Major Mahama Meda 12 jailed for life to have been freed, as we said earlier on, and GCB Bank organizes gala and awards night, and BOG cuts policy rate. There is also dismiss fake election year prophecies. This is what Reverend Dr. 𝗟𝗏𝗘 cautioning the citizenry. That is from the Daily Graphic.
Okay, so the Daily Guide, Ghana's favorite newspaper, says 12 major Mahama killers caged for life. The story is on page 3. At the election 2024, NPP presents 46 new candidates. The story is on page 3 as well. Page 6 says EC distances itself from Yindi primary declaration. And page 6 again says 𝗟𝗍𝗍𝗘 clears wound to me. So that's it for the Daily Guide.
All right, so the Ghanaian Times, the most authoritative newspaper, they say, it also has here Major Mahama case, 12 caged for life, 2 acquitted and discharged. There is the picture of Dr. Ernest Addison, the boss of BOG. And it says BOG reduces monetary policy rate to 29% as inflation decreases. There is also here the GNet cautions Ghanaians about Hamatan related diseases. And this is by Dr. Eric Isuman.
So the New Finder newspaper says prime rate cut to 29%, a reflection of the impact of the IMF bailout. The story is on page 2. Page 4 says that $450 million magnesium refinery to be constructed. That is from Jinapo, and 12 get life imprisonment for Major Mahama's murder. Don't use heads of state, to resolve exit of 3 ECOWAS members. Professor Entry Danso. Grab a copy of the New Finder and get your stories in detail from there.
So from the Daily Dispatch, they say factually, reliable, and factual. So they have here, consider supreme interest of MPP with unity. We will win on December 7th. Thou sayest Baumia. NDC cannot take 𝗟𝗍𝗍𝗘 seat from me. Amewu, MPP 𝗟𝗍𝗍𝗘. This is what Amewu is saying. Opoku Prempeh secures 5th term bid with over 88%.
The Daily Searchlight newspaper says, when will CEOs who are now NPP candidates resign? Lawyer poses a million cedi question. The story is on page 2 of the paper. KTC coughs wound to me walks. And Ghana's healthcare in crisis as nurses flee hardship. CPP parliamentary aspirant threatens to sue Ghana Gas and reinstate tour union leaders, or we strike to government. GTPCU to government. And Baumia and team JFK have exhibited sterling leadership. The story is on page 6 of the paper.
Graphic business. Banks ahead of recapitalization plans, governor says. Few already recapitalized, rest in the process. And Ghana transforming crisis into journey towards prosperity. And there's the picture of Chris Hilton with Adzika looking behind. I can also see Baba Idrisu also looking on the ground. What it costs taxpayers to maintain the Black Stars. And this is what the Business Times is saying.
The Daily Post newspaper says government budgeted $8.5 million for AFCON 2023. Ablakwa reveals the stories on pages 3, 6, and 7 of the paper. And the Konfi chief fumes at the 𝗟𝗏𝗘 for deliberately denying his people development. Major Mahama Meda, William Barr, 11 others jailed for life, 2 others freed. And Mahama takes building Ghana tour to Eastern region. Grab a copy.
Yet the National Forum, they say Ghana first, boldness, fairness, and firmness. Election 2024 in November. Parliament to decide, and this is on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. That is what is going to be decided. But on the left-hand side, we have Adanko wants to know, and so Adanko is Rabbit. What Rabbit wants to know? Yes.
So the National Enquirer newspaper, new dates for general elections to take effect, but NDC pushes for 2028. The story is on pages 2, 3, and 4 of the paper. Konfi chief slam 𝗟𝗏𝗘 for deliberately denying them development, and Mahama tells Ghanaians vote NPP out or continue to suffer. Too much entertainment in our churches. Reverend Eastwood Anaba and Major Mahama Meda, 12 suspects sentenced to life imprisonment. Joyce Bawa Mutabi writes, the Dape's case nails 𝗟𝗏𝗘 Baumia government as corrupt.
Wow. So this is where we end the highlights of major happenings on the internet and in the newspapers available this morning. We are coming back, and when we come back, we are going to do a studio surgical diagnosis of the major happenings. Please wait for us. We are coming back.
Emrana so see the WTV Kasiabo yede bremo and somewhere yaboabo no na semufo asole so and yede beso mo see we aprem to bre and anwumre no nsia bremu Kasiabo and don't say yeso mu nsem amanyosem ene gidie agodie mu nsem adwadie mu nsem and afia ma hodo so nsem time chuku esansia bon sebede ebesanim ediama WTV, reaching out to the world.
Yen in church, Jumedia Sronqua, Methodist, Yasha at the air breb, yen church, so you best see a dear, Afa, the new Efanyang coupon, yes, to Christo, home, Kong, and a sunny to your GDMO anamo. A be pence and pence, a GDN fappem. Yen church, you be pisa, you best see a neighbor home. Kayawe, na yen see a the hour yen church, so yen church, yama GDNMO at the hope pepe.
How does the story of old influence decisions and lifestyles of today? How can we tread the path to salvation based on past events? Why is history important, and how can it inspire the future? Another adage says, a generation which ignores history has no past and no future. Join us in a talk show program.
Tell me the old story.
Right here on Wesleyan Television, as we engage knowledgeable people with facts in history that will influence our present and shape our future.
Make a date with us every Saturday at 7 p.m.
as we delve deep into our history. God bless you.
Tell me the old story. Brought to you by the Heritage Directorate of the Methodist Church, Ghana.
All right, so welcome back. Thanks for joining us again. This is 𝗟𝗓𝗏. We've been joined by the very Reverend 𝗟𝗜𝗏𝗘 here, who is the Director of Public Relations, the Methodist Church, Ghana. Hello, sir. Good morning.
Fine.
PR uncle.
Yeah, sure.
Minute no ye ochinemi ni mini baya no ye ochinwo butie mi
uchine nmodomo na
now they are far kakra na ya say I'm on the other side.
Jami adoma na ochi abesi nkodo enoma bebre wo hodom a ye conference officer Nuchmo Babao ni Ochu, presiding bishop, lay president, administrative bishop, Nume Yala, Emini Bikome, Yeni Ame Yachu. Nyami Adom, now try best in call ye na Juma Bibri or Honum. Presiding bishop, lay president, administrative bishop, any impending for a kanyana, na Adzika no yebeka se yeda nyankopon ase ema yahwefo nyina yede nyame nhyira ema on nyina yegina presiding bishop anemu ihira obia yegidi se anope nyame adominti obia eho ye yo yedi nchi akese ese abre ye no na ye ka se edwumedi e koso na wotwe abesi nko no ye nkrofo bia omowo English abrochi memu a wonso woye Methodist fo a woye mpinimfo wa sorry no ebesra yen enti no delegation from the British Methodist Conference paid a courtesy call on the presiding bishop and the team at the head office na ye ni omo inya exchange enti say bia ye ngi to me call kosram omo so mbesra yen isanse se ne nyina yenim wo ya bakosem mu no ya papa Wesley honum na ofi asore no so efi bae nti omo 11 member delegation bae delegation amu bae no 11 days omo eko apro ewo some of the heritage sites ewo Ghana ehwehwe Methodist asore ewo Ghana nimu na Osofu Davis of Benny Davis on na odi wenim na de won bae nti omo wie na omo eba ifi kesimu Wesley Towers ebichia asori impenimfo kanesa wia na wotwi mu se ne wa wuni mu no ayi nyina yenu apeni pa afresechi ne maame nyankopon ato nsa afre no na se nyame ato nsa afre aberetia na se yenyina yekogya no the whole Methodist church was on the hills
The whole
Methodist church you know you sha na di ye wo presby sorry dem nso na che se Methodist asofo
akojeho afa
sorry ma ajeho nyina afa no ekire edo a ye dido ye mra pani na se ne ye tai nechi obi enti papa afresechi ye koso se nyame se onhye busua ni nyina den onfa ne nsa ento makoma so digina presiding bishop anemu ema ebusua ni nyina yakobi mu nyame onhyira mu nyina sa so na ye free hodom no presiding bishop ebesen call tema diocese mu na ye kohwe dwumedia na emabunu a ewo
Girls Fellowship
ma yo ano omdu media no mudi ewo yankasa yenda osisi ni mu ye connection ni na beka se omo ya ma connection ni na Girls Fellowship for no mo se women pray nti no na chese maba no age na no mo abompaye ama Ghana
ama little girls prayer or more the vision wa be women
omo na say no mo ashase no sa na Methodist asorinity catch them young nti no uso na chese ye kire nti omo so mo gina ebompaye presiding bishop ekudi wenim ekose won kran na bibia ekọ so fine nti the ndiwayo sofo Duce
Gideon, we are wishing you well and greeting you for your good work in the Tema Diocese.
Nti na ye force ro hodom so no hu say WTV so e ko ichide pa nti me dem ko fa ho ko fru dia diocese
no mo ka miss na
mo se me ba mi cha pa na
celebrity ba
ko
ni wow
ni one be a promoter.
And the promoters no more na ya cash niko. That's right. Nti ya obi anfanfa so. Oh na che say if bishop e wo ko for dia so se no secretary any obi a omo ka me go fa me former station tinkon. Okay. So for ni asori ma ni nyina say so for you hu TV so pa o. Oh che say WTV sorry na share there. Ajibibia.
So we next time we come here catch him so moon and ya moon free.
If you agree morning na omuta free pa itino. Ye almost so pa.
Kofodia dance so nyina.
Ye almost so pa. And the kind of say na say enche coming to a diocese near you.
Yes.
Sorry na share ba
one after the other.
Yes. And to win be a only decoder na say we are na ka check say one page. Send your coin be first will be station. Only station ni bi. And sana.
Because he say method is juma die nyina na. Yes, I want to announce.
Ube kechiri. Yam person obi aso be kechiri. Yes. Yes, remo. Obi a mpe kwan obe fa so a ube chi station no. E wo TV so.
Na so for the last time na war presiding officer, I was also amazed. Said the papa nom edwin to boase hwe program fiti anopa. And I know this morning presiding admin and papa lay president, they all watch this closely from the morning. And I was surprised they know the timer. Also for me here back. They know my monitor.
Debi na me ya de nka bi ko chi anu na eja
de be yo
asem ne ban se me na be di ka fa me uti he ni o ka na o ye we nyina ya na me monitor e ba be siuso
yeah that's it yeah
nti che se ye da ya papa nom ye ma me nom ya ye ma me nom so we ji omo so
adum kraba for so straight
ye ma me nom so omo de pa nti papa nom ne ye ma no munyina both clergy and laity yada munyina ase na yesrese monkoso na mombo yichidom na bibi so ese mudi ni na mudi adonten na nyame adumenti
you so from the room na fire call.
So from 2017 in May and I said we see and say justice has been served. But we thank God that finally someone would look at this and say that, oh, then Ghana, Ghana pa. It's been long overdue, but we thank God. But look at the fact that the issue of life imprisonment. We are also talking about the fact that the death sentence every constitution and as a but we'll go take a look at what Major Mahama ni Mami aka and I feel so Attorney General so aka and by befa Attorney General the first we are na ahwe ne Mami so ekafa and say me course wo court enra.
There's no point at all engaging in mob justice. Because clearly, there was a situation where a person who was innocent, was gruesomely murdered under such circumstances. And I believe that the whole nation will learn from it and need to put an end to mob justice in Ghana. I was quite appalled to see the videos of Major Mahama on social media. And at least we have seen that mob justice does not pay. Ultimately, the Minister of Justice will catch up with you. And if you think that you can resort to justice by yourself, you yourself will be dealt with in accordance with law. I believe that these men who have been convicted today and who are going to serve the rest of their life in prison will indeed learn a lesson, and I'm sure the community in which they live also will learn a lesson.
The murder of my son has been determined, and I am thankful to God for the strength to endure over 6 years of agonizing pain. The twist and turns of events and associated heartache is unspeakable. God knows my plight as a mother whose loving son was snatched away from her in such a gory manner.
The Attorney General, and the second was the mother of Major 𝗟𝗡𝗍 She's still in pain even after 6 years of this mob injustice meted out to the son. So it's long overdue, but finally you can say that Ghana justice system no but it will definitely catch up with you.
Ebedi kayama Major 𝗟𝗡𝗍 ne maame ne yere ene abusua ni na yebema won shedding yesre nyame arecheche a onam sunsum kronkron tumi so edema ye ne se onhye wonde we nti ena Yesu Kristo di sunsum kronkron no jaaye no nti sunsum kronkron na yebo mpaye se onhye ebusua ne den isan se asem we no utwa weni ehwe ne bebia eden eya nyame emfa yenua Major 𝗟𝗡𝗍 ne kra ensie na onhye ebusua no so den na ye ka se wo hwe obi a in the prime of his life na oye ne djuma sebi obi eye mfom so krampo a ye wo kwan a ye de ne fa so ewo emre mu enti no na se mo feel se nipa no aye mfom so bi mpo a sebi se oye kromfo mpo a we don't take the law into our own hands instantly na che say ye de sa atemu na man e wo hono ma na o ka say life sentence yen free o ka say death sentence yen free ye books ni mu but enipa ni bi e wo hono ma ye ka say yen free books ni mu no ono e hono ma ono a sentence obi to death
Nti free honum so
oh say ya ono sentence obi ade na ye nyina oman ni nyina enipa bebre e prese enye no nka yin free ono ne de onhwehwe emu onye hwe straight ehwa na che say we bua nipa no efo na owie so a na ono ankasa edemra na hye ne nsem a execute no e wo hono ma enye ade a eye ade papa utie ni Attorney General no on kana o say just say an innocent person gruesomely murdered broad daylight ye wie so a na video so no en na social media na aba no new media ya be asem no just say before I will be hwe na just say ekodada and just imagine say mame etifie no o shemu na all of a sudden you are sending the video say eye bibia etumi e the heart attack eba nyame ambemu a etumi esei oyere na komakra nanso ye da nyame asese nyame abo wo ho ban na utie de mama iken ya wa fame for these past 6+ years ya wa fame o say she can explain to me nchirase eden nanso ye gidi se oyo Kristo ni a nyame ankasa enam susum konkron so echeche ne ren kakrakre obekọ so ahwe ebusua ni nyina na se wanhwe ni yi a ade wo ye esi ye no na nka ye bibia enu nti no sa mob justice no nka ese nke free ya brabom ese fi ye culture mu ese fi ya sitinem
but even at that assemblyman na wo beto so no why would you even support what was happening? Because anka police in the hono, anka wumpo betimi ejine mu. Actually nipa ni kwa police station na enko hwemu yin say oh nipa we or ye nipa say and oba so ba be will be wo market ni mu. But wo dey boy kan ho yes ade we. And then today look at you.
And one na make you say say enka we see ye nimpo no. Nke free ya brabo me fi en culture mu e free ye ndada sitinam nke say sadie we no mob justice instant justice nke say nka ye jai un say abeye se bibia people enjoy it. People like it. Nkrofo pese eya wo yesa. Eno na se BBC sa na ubenya nkrofo bi omwo kronu mu ana so mo mantem honom a omo ayese omo de omo na omo ye gangare ye bi e wo honom nti diom na omo aba na omo ba be ye sa de nti e ba ne sen na assemblyman okoye sa obi a wo nanka sa mensini no sa bia honom ne de nka ye ka mra umpo na obeka se obedi eni na wa kire esan se aye part of ya brabo bi aye to say bibi abeka ye ho say bibi a ye nyina ye culture no nkofo agitum say bibi sa ye nya sa enti na opini a esese nka wuhu papa na wode enyoma tutu yie no ono so ekoka ho enti se ne tibia no minim say ne lawyer for jine mu se ono de wan shada nko ye we na we no nanso court ebu asem ne de yetumi ka bi se asem no court mu aya da no me ka ha no se court mu aya ene na but court say wa hwehwem na wo hwehwem mu no sa nipa du mienu won na wodi fo e wo sa wo ye ba yi omo na omo de mra ne hye omo nsem na omo di enim e na sa de we ba ye na court aka ne sa de a omo right omo be kwa appeal nanso ansa na ombekọ appeal na court say obeta enu on tenu ene de ye ejina court nsem na sisi a de ne court ka na yenso ye ka ho bi ne say sankofo we omo na yebu omofo na wo hwe event no se ne ba ye na osofo hu videos ne bi ye de blog ebo abranti chese enye sa dia na ye kase Ghana fu nyinara yemfa we enya adesua na yensua bibi papa enfiri mu se ye nua be me ye nua peni ye nua be ma Major Maxwell Mahama wanhwere ne nkwakwa enam we so na yentwe ye ho enfiri sa instant justice no papa ye Methodist asori peni bi ne ba. Okay. I don't have full permission to me money. Na obekwa abrochire. Or driving a car or driving or car on one car. E wo ye kwan ba ku so akra. Okay. And na obi akwa kuria de. Ye di nipa nechi. Hey. Ono so ni window ni down ne car no door no on two mu. Or kwa traffic mu. Nti o slow down na and na hey na nipa no okromfo no ohuri e betena car ni front enti he was surprised okọ nanim kakra no my friend see from me said the enti na wa betena me car says enti ogina onsi no na nkrofo no e beto share no so okromfo no dwane ye ono mom no mo say one ne ye partners
wow
omu pra no ekunu no
you don't mean it
omu hwehwe mu wie ye no na che say
ono kra asem no nkrofo so eku no so adwane
wow enti no sa instant mob justice say you free who cry it shouldn't be part of our culture it shouldn't be part of our daily life enti adenti na when you na si ya statue ama Major Maxwell ya statue ama no uko bibia Leicester Hospital ya ama no amina ye nka ye se ye ntwi ye ho infris ade enso
people still get it
esisi
sofo you move on to me say why emotional about this one owu de ade han owu a enye se umra so
yes
so umra so na ukode aba we de ne mrenso
obi abeko nanso mayemfa emra enhye yense enji obi nkwa enfree ne nsem
akwa bi otoni obi arabe 1990 obi 1990 ebi beko na yango Jerry
Sikai can say omunje afi 2023 you know we have exceeded it.
Oh, praise the Lord.
So I will say praise the Lord. Because the money is not even reflecting in our daily lives.
Say like that's praise the Lord.
Hallelujah. Yes. It's not even reflecting in any aspect of our lives. How do we get our own share of the money?
say we na ya ema enipa omutua eto no ewo oman nim no eya na binom edi yawo isan say de bia ye ka say widen the tax net widen the tax net ye who say enipeku bi a wo ye adwuma ewo oman nim eya na eto no eda omo so isan say we ye adwuma na yete o income tax ni ne kekenka ho ukoto fuela tax wo so ukoto milk ukwako likotwa tea kakra tax da so bibia obeto bia nsuo electricity ni na tax den eda so
for nansen enye nansen I think some years ago nanka pese tax collection so
yeah temu me won nipa we oba beto collection the sika ni na what tax if
yeah was up tax collection
eno de bibia omoka na omo de omo gusukra omo ye ho sese kra tem dia omo ya
so we dey paibo betia ye dey paibo betia
but is that difficult? How can I pay tax on every amount of money that I have and still bring the rest that I want, or the first part that I want to bring to God and still bring it? Now I can say you are coming to take another tax.
Tax.
Enti say ye jeje eto no say ya tax no ye jeje ne say senia target ye de ma won a exceed na so for praise the Lord no hallelujah ye ni jesem na asem so a wo bisa here no eno nso eye ebeka say relevant question. We want to see it reflected in the economy. Ye pese ye hu say we no a ya jeje no ye de ye adwuma ama ye nso ye ndada sitini mu say etimemufo a ye wo Ghana no enioma ayeye ama yen na amembo no eya na hu say ye jeje tax no ejuma ye de koye no se yintumi amfa anye ni nyina ma ne nwie paya ye obibia account for no beka se either se ojeje usika ni nyina na ejuma wo ye no se yintumi imbalance a unya deficit e wo honom ntina na wajiji ni nyina no wa exceed no krampo no na che se enoma wo pese wo ye no usika na nso a na se ugusu ye adwuma na che se eka bi e wo honom nti deficit bi ayeden aba nanka esenka ya jiji ya brusu yi na ne efifi amano ne bekeka ho no nka beka se ese yenya surplus ese nke bi kwa
amano ne we na o chen IMF for the year
na se ni nyina ende won fa nka ho ese
ya we that sika de
ese ye kan nyina abomu
eno no de ese enye sika ayedi
de bi obi kan se sika ayedi o
so ye sika nyina
edwuma ewo man nim ni nyina na so fu ye ko say to be de ni adwuma na ye de be nti ni ye
de na abade a ye fa ye
mu no say ni free tax na e ba o ni e free say abanya nkasa aye adwuma bi asset up companies bi no mo so infrastructure kakra aba ni free koko ni free bibia ni nyina ye ka bom a na be ye o man ni sika ananya sa
pesi ehun de so for
as IMF oni ye kan nyina boma sika aba man nim
say IMF dey say yes say dey be projects and programs ewo 2024 budget inti ye hwe ne ma keka wo budget mu na for me na ko ye be hwe say ni na be we see some activities going on
the evidence na major so aka say so for ayi asafo mu kura ye we say ujiji skefi asori ma ho e bia offering ana tithe ana say harvest kura na ye ye bibia omutimi yi ni mo omuyi ni pa
say net inti say asori mu na odomfo bi ehu ye mobo abeche ye sika fuduo bi anase ye de srade akoto obi enim na wa abeche ye sika bi eno nya ye offering eno nya ye tithe
eno ye gift
ebe ka ho a ni nyina ye ka bomu a asori sika ne bo ye asori sika ye adwuma e wa asori ne mu enti ye keka ni nyina bomu a ye pese ye hu se sika na e ba ye no ye di adwuma bia afi infaso bi aba ho say yes ye di kosi dan ya
pills ni bi aye eyi kakra wo de aye
wo de me fa na say yes ye di kwa kosi mission house na sika na e ba ye ni nyina afi ye hu say ya to blog mbo
ana asase ne da ho yenya bibia
asase ne da ho yehu say ya to cement mpo yehu say ye twa foundation a sorry for no
ombetia
ombefu say ya nya
why ye dia the name
say oh ye twa foundation oh ya top blocks iron rods gu ho oh memma gina ho no ma ye bo concrete ma ye adwuma na oh ene ma na ye di kwa be ba be ka sa no man no so etie say ye keka ni nyina bom be efi bia ye say ye de IMF de ekwakoye project enti me pese me hu say ekwan aye bo boss no de wo budget ni mu no aye bo boss no me pese me hu say nyame ncha de nche na me kuma se kwan na che say so fake place
aban de o kana sem no na o man mre so say onye near the Bible so tiny. Young call them penalty ho.
Answer now, please keep your comments coming in on 0256253461. Bet me as a message. And my brochure so now person Freya, you can call on WhatsApp. Freya will be able to also get you online so that you speak to us. And the number near 0256253461 on Facebook and so bet me as send comments no. A baby phone lines Cecilia and Chebia. I can't be some few minutes. We'll open our phone lines now. So wait to me, Afarley. Oh, that same number. Yes, so.
All right. So for the death penalty, na UTA de na eka earlier death penalty. What do you think?
Say ubi ekoye boni bia emra no ya hyehyɛ penalties ahodoɔ sɛ bibia udi fo ɛwɔ mmra no afa bia asotwe a ɛsɛsɛ yɛde ma nti ɛno na yɛka sɛ penalty asotwe a ɛfata sɛ yɛde ma sɛ we mmra ne so no na yɛsɛ asotwe ne bi wɔ hɔ no ma udi fo ɛwɔ beebi te sɛ ebia wopɛ sɛ wokotu aban gu wopɛ sɛ woku nipa ana sɛ wotu aban gu krampo no ni nyina ɛho asotwe no yɛsɛ ɛyɛ by death
ebua ukumfo
ibu ukumfo a na kyerɛ sɛ ɛno ane no na we ɛna ye ka say aman bi wo hodom a sa death penalty na nkan no ewo mmra no mu no ye fi hodom nti ye hwese nka Ghana nso ye betumi ye fi hodom esanse enipa no yes bibisa na se ibu onkunfo ana se ye de omo ekotwiri mu se omo nkwa na aka nyina omo nkotwiri mu a ewo prison hodom a eya na omo tumi esakra nti ne mfumso a oyeye no eda no na ye ka obi wo hodom a na eduboni bi ena ogina so odiye sawe na ade na te wonenu so a na afi na sabe na dwen no afi na aba correct obi nso ewo hodom so a na ye ntwanto so obi nso wo ho a na dia eye the ebeka ne say genuine mistake bi eyem fomso bi a ebia ono kwampo na oye yo nanso na eyem fomso wan da nti genuine mistake na say we kumu bi nko ade na mmra na ekire say saade a won so yenje won kwa emfiri won seb no
but so for him say 30 years ni yenya bi aside the fact say treason for year ade ye ba ye
ye ka sisi a na ye ka ne say yes say nkasa emra no a yedi bua nipa kum for no yenyi emfiri ono who say ne won kan for a long time edema amampeni ahodo mo aba abetena konwa so nyina eya na won den say wo be sign it wo do won sa be shekrata asese yenko na yemfa ahoma enko sen obi ana say yemfa nipa no enko se firing squad do say himfa yenkuku no
na by handing
edin ma om say ombeka say yenko na yenko ji obi enkwa emfiri ni nsem sa enti no do nipa no yese yemfa nko na yenkuku no esan boni a waye na ho asotwe ne no nti yemfa no yenkuku no amampenimfo no amo aba ni nyina for 30 years omo inform nsa enche sa homa na se esan say yes omo de omo nsa shase omo de omo nsa shase pe
ebeko
ene na chese no anu ebe ni sisi a but omo enye ni nyina kire say na wo hwe so asankrofo no bebre na ye di omo eko to efiase ananka esenka ye ku ono ye nku ono ebinom emre eko nenim kakra no na wo sakra wa brabo emre eko wenim no na omwankasa they come to the realization say ade abie enye ebiso wo honom so ehwehwem etumi ededi ama yehu say afi na enye onipa na nse enche wa America memu abrantie bi omude no ekoto efiase sa news we na wo CNN ne ade omude no koto efiase for years upon years
till later mu hu say enye no
omo hihye mu a no mu hu say sa enye ono a description I demand say onipa tuntum onipa bibini bi na why this aboni we ne height ni we ni ade no okofa ho no
he fits the description.
He fits the description,
but he wasn't the one.
Nti echire ya afi omo ye nhwehwemu a ye be ye DNA ni ye be ye we forensic we ya omo ye ya yes. More than 10 years.
You wouldn't have come back to say sorry and be nipa na free of nipa no oko.
Nti afi na ese esan say nye ono na ye ni nti no na ese yi ni efiri ase ba na on minor state no e compensate no for all those years that he spent in prison unlawfully. Nye ono. So into no ye bompa ye na ebusuafo binom so ho ma say assembly to one sir he say an eye for an eye omu gina so say we num na ekum me de hye ne dia ene no ono nso ye nyi ni free hobby nanso Christo mu de say ye Christopher yi de ya na we look for the reformative aspect of the punishment. Say ye man asotwe a ebe sakra nipa na brabo be na me no so na we be hu urade na waye be useful to the community.
It say death by hanging. But bit me ama nipa no life imprisonment.
Hane
it's time anyankopon be frɛ no.
Say wo hwɛ say nea amanpeni fo no krampo mfa wonsa sa kata na se
uko prisoner wo hye ho
saa ene say yes me hu wi a ene che say wi na hu na wo honom nanso enemu ya yedwuman ye kɔ prisons eko kan irade asem na ebinum kasa ye bompa ye eni ade ma obewu say with time na nipa na ba to ono ankasa unini aba ne ho so na se nyoye ye no na ono ampo na ye a afi na nini aba ne ho so na waje ne mfom so atumu obewu say na wasakra kra na obi so eda no na ye kan asem wo ya na obi so say say ono weku obi ewie na owie ye no ono de wabetena ho na wenu no ho na afi de ye de ache no de like we gwa de nke say ono nso ye bonitu anase ye ni fi ho no nanso nya sa natural sem no e kire ye.
So what does the Bible say about this?
So the Bible teaches us about forgiveness. Ye mpo whilst we were sinners ye wuti ye mboni mu no na irade etne ne do no e kire yen na oje yen nti no ma ye mfa ne se ye nyina anase ye mu binum ho no ma ye free anase ye de ye ho tia ma ne bro so se obi eye bibia na ye pese ye bu nipa no kum for instantly enya sa na tro ne kire say ye mfa nche na nyame na obu aten bibia wo ne nsem. There are nkrofo a omo aye enioma bia enye etia ebinum a the wheels of justice Rebecca say it grinds slowly, but at the end of the day no surely justice will be served. Until we won't say afi no or no na sa nipa na or yes abone no no angasa ba me hu me inform so me srew fache me and they come so remorseful and sometimes in repentance they will even do a lot of good than the wrongs that they have done.
We are talking about the law. Nipa we onuni huno ba. How do we bring the person back into society? I'm forgetting the fact that Sankofo we na one year na you would find people in the community saying say nipa we say why say nipa we say why say, then the kind of treatment we give to these people, even after we bring them back into society, say you can't go for 12. Echnebi, you can hear na who say, oh, ebiana. First 2 people no more omudin until you would have to just take them off the list. Or move back to society, how do we even treat them?
No, so a year, asema, before bebre, edi hunjuma, son said, how we reintegrate.
So from Pacho, hold on, kakra me. Into your BF phone lines, no, as you see, a timer, so your BF phone lines, into also obey to me, Alfred. This is the TME segment. It's part of the DIRU. Into 025-625-3461, 025-625-3461. Also obey to me, Alfred. Or a broadcast now, person Freya. Use that same number on WhatsApp, and you can get in touch with us.
And Mister, how we reintegrate people be bintino omo eku area or prison na omo assign abano. The process of reintegrating ex-convicts, the process of reintegrating them into the society in Yapa. Say yanyen year, Obemun said na nipano. Waba we no ho obetumi aye bibi papa nanso esan se yen reintegrating ye ni nti no enipa empese wo no won be ye bibia enso bia na bibi papa bi ho obetumi aye ebinom wo ho a na Yesu kan ye no o se me ko de fie ase no wan besra me. We should, what you are saying is love, and Christianity, the gospel is about love. Eyodo nti se safo no yetumi nya odobi de ma won nti se obi wo ho ne busuani enya asem akwakoda efiase wensi ho da wankọ hwehwe ne da na nipa no esan bonu oye nti no yi na efifiase krampo abefia oba ye no krampo, they don't want to accept that person in the community cry. Ye pen we busuani mu ye twa ne din mu efi ebusua homa mu eba ne sa one shot the person will find comfort in going back to that crime again. Also una ochire sanyo man meboana psychologically the dia nipa enya comfort no ahonom say me ba na mu njemia na say
go back to where I came from.
Cruise and guys no say memra na ombejemia okwa ono ma tawa ba ko na wo ba na afia ba weni so a ade na nka no na nka wo nye no first no na wo ye na du ko gina baby na afia ade na tete weni so na sa we na ma utumi na wo ye no wo ba ye fie anjew busu anjew asori anjew na se wo ko no mo sai ma utawa ni bi na wo ba na tumi na sai den aba mu no wafa sekan wafa tuo wafa no sai into the same crime. Now so say reintegration process no say edimu na ye yia nipa no on sign enko saboni no mu biom ye ni mebi no mu a omuko mu a because of reintegration process into no afi omu small businesses. Some of them are into handicrafts near there. You into me modern, but you know some of them. Just sisi ano, my brother no.
So musuya say ana manu wo ho.
I don't know.
So but we nya kwala bi fita kwa. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Me nana eti say.
Nyamia dawo.
Pacho ye da nyamia ase. Koso yeti o.
Yo, mama me da ase. Discussion na mo ye ne de eye pa ye da sofo so ase. Mchechi muna oma emuye duba na di oho na me di oho ni se ni emeru oho a ekoso a emanipa akoma twepa se le sofo ka se yemfa nche saa ni nya ye kwa sori a ye dite na jumi se wo na oyire no ma o mangeto na ma omkusu na wo na obi friend ho so ye amroba na obi ku be ma no. You see, I'm a friend of my brother, I cut in a short. My friend, or many call I cut it short. And will be an honso or bedboom of Farmer Daching bombing a baby, I see. Now, a banner, now can I won't find just any pan. My friend on bed and on to me the actor. Now come a pub bane or moving, I must say any pan. I ask some man, me a dimpa. Intina. I am for cancer, sir. I need it, and because individuals said the obino biako ebi antokwa in the course of ntokwa na say ebi a we piano and I say ebi okobo no kura nipa na ebi o yare da na nsaka na no awu ni ade de ene de no kure ya but say amro papa onim say papa ni ne yire ni ma o hana papa yire de ma no obetwi say obetwitu akono so akokunu na say sikanti na sai no yemfa nche nipa ne de na ano ye de nti o say definitely there is ye de but maku dumedi maku bi wo mde a na uyi a me de me suggest say ne me du wo mo hwe ni yi na enum say am robust ni o mom say that trick you ko nipa ko ku o mo for no purpose any ade de o mo say so mo nya sa asotwe bi me da ase.
Yes, yeah, that's it. You see, the thing is, people would have diverse reasons. Another caller. So focus away.
Yet you, fireman, fire near
Christ is you.
Yeah, this year.
And I pay me to contribute to Katapa near report. Before I mean, last year report, you do my papa. In the end, one was said, on target, you know, on target. And a class but we make sure say, yeah, we tag me, you know, and make sure someone that will mine. Then you are going to better us mine. Because we say it's free to be a Yama and cost you. So I said to move into Yama. And I guess what to do. Make the part of my free constitution because it was not them said, your typical or what the Kayano. If you know, Obia Kia should be I want to take a Kuno. Mrs. Susan, we know I and I made up Lulu Mahama. You won't saw a William, a pala, a boy, it is a chill one. I am the say a momu, get one. The life in breathing, get from Shaw, my young Jim, on more fire.
Okay, more fire.
Grandma, good morning. What's it for who to say?
Hello.
Grandma, good morning.
Pachotinka.
Me pacho Papa.
Me pacho last bi nana hima de okai. Nana hima be 2 weeks ago about so nana hima na case nara.
Pacho den okai.
Yes no okai no pacho so. Ya kasa nana ya nana no hima boso na. Dan ye nana hima afo no. E ma me de yakọ so so da. O nti so ati akuna. Told ni abosom no ya but this time I'm for the Yamin person, Yamin makers of him, and told him fine, she said, Yakasi and Ananum to my bosom. It is all Mukahobi. And find Chinese Americans and man.
Yo, that's it. Nana, that's it. Pass also watch it more for Kenya no Kenya candy, but over say a TSS, a him for I all met this mo. Enya bosom ne yesum ne mum yesum nyame ahenie na atom abeku
I say abeku ni fireman mu ko competition
abeku mu ko challenge oni fire mu ko challenge o
Asafo na mo te say
nyame adom ye ho ye
oh good ene asafo ye fra bibi akom ne nkyeremu GR for Sika Munya no and na na asie na ye ho kire ye sa.
Oh, I dey.
The pressure was system. Asa dia for na no man taxes no akoso. Omujiji na ma ye ho kire ye sa. That's it ye ankoye grand. So reflective of kaji mo a the anyase. But na sister na e bisa say na sika no we. Sika no de metumi aka say ni ho.
No way.
Sikana go shehe.
Oh, I'm back at some of the joker. I'm back at some of the identity. Oh, Sikano. Until I know the sister and you are being free so. Yes, she said, Nia, I was said, almost Sikani, and would you almost find your mind there, home toy. But what did this kind of man see? You can almost be played here. And yes, almost find Nia, a bit near. Na Major Mahama Sam so and in fact more body videos is here. We share my mino. We share the customer who is our dear watching. The young kind of yell, but you see,
oh nyasi omani nkoda na Christ ankasa ebehwe edamwasi
edase abeku fireman ena kwesi akra
ba kwesi zo octoso frepa
mutu da wodi ti afmoka owahi
kwesi
damasu na government Adzika so odiye zama teachers are wuchi ahoka nurses are wuchi ahoka gumazi nkaka obo yeri na oye tika no enti say ye na e kan tika wa hina musu be bisa musu mo fe da wodi ti ahoka no so wa hin enti musu wodi ye ma
yezi
odi jo mo ma de man na Ghana so government Adzika no so do she o ma no enti adaba no say enti o mu ye funi de government Adzika no so the asada audience no audience
yeah that's it next is supposed to be say omo allowance so buy
yeah teachers supposed to be your
anyways
yes then just so for them say you were making a point now
enti ye kase se ba no death penalty ya ebinum e kase say
she continue
entina ho na ohu kola ba ko na asema o ka no ono de wachichem aye selection ebia eyemfom so no obi na obi ko de a na wakobon we pra na eno de nipa no nka ye man life na se obi ye amroba pa na oba wo dem de a no nimpa se
papa ne ma so nya odia na wo gwa rem na wa be
enne sa nipa no yemfa no nko na yenko bonutu anase yemfa no nko yenko sen aha enti chese ono wa chichem na ye sanya ka biom se ye Christopher God teaches us love na ya ka se nipa ni bebri ho no ma bibi na mo mo yesa obi wura wo dem obeye drugs ne ne akika ho no ye bompa yesa sa neoma ne nyina krampo no ye ndi wudwuma ni free oman ni ma na say eye mre na se kra ne nipa na nsa nkosom na wamfa eno anya tumi bi ama me yesa se bibi so basa na ye se ye kwakukum nipa na edin enu nti na mampenimfo no nyina omuntumi emfa won nsa nyeden enhya asese for 30 years no yensan obi ewo oman no nti no nipa yebu omunkumfo no nyina omutwere ho ana say nipa na ne mreso a na nyame atonsa afre
because they are working with the laws they will give you that
say emrano eni hwa court on fasa asotwe no
okay emfamro
asotwe no say ni mrani mu a court on fa ma na ewo mrani mu nko ade na ye say wo ye eho asotwe ni a court amfa ma wa obi be ya appeal say court de ugu ayi judgment no punishment na ewo form
okay
emrani say we anyway na eko enti no mo de omo adwuma no mo ayeden omo aye se ne emrani kire obi entumi anyone enye debate bi ase
so for yesenya abeku yesamo akwa ba biemu
also for no masamba na akama tabu ba also no ka ni dia se peta bu ka mo check the book kakra yesi omo yo mo tin se omo ko tu abanyo omo mo ku mi pa o omo yo mo tin keke yesi omo ko hangion na omo tulipa aji obi nkwan screen na yesi omo ko be fiase for life eno no nche da fiase papa mo be ti na chi because mi den ka we ko bi de nka yan so ko no so e fa cha na obi a wa nje na din to o plani pato anye onu mo ke se ko han
o question de be me se mranimfo na betimi akirechire mu yen ya ye wa ha de obi a nheda enko emra suku sa tie no de eda ebenya lawyers ni bi na ye bisa nti koso ane ehwe WTV sorry na shrine
abekwa mama kai assembly amika mi nkwala bem say me lawyer dachi nti abekwa on that note me try
to
tu ko ye banza na be
anza na wa be cheche ne kakra ebitimi aka ne se ne na make na emra no ene wa prescribe asotwe enti no se lawyer ni ete hodom a ne emra no aka no eno na odi yeduma
ye nya nada abeku from edwira abeku a wo frɛ fi edwira aha yetie o
me pacho good morning me pacho me problem kakra ewo discussion amoye no as a country, don't we think that we have outgrown or outlived this system of penalty by hanging and all that with this sentence now? Don't we think so?
That is actually the argument on the ground. Yes. Lawyer Sosu is saying, we have outgrown or outlived that
but even at that, we've not even done that in the last 30 years.
Yes, that is the argument on the floor. Yeah.
Because for me, I think that people have made comments that meet a certain treason level than what these people have done. Look, we could have put these people as a country, we could have put these people to national services where they can serve, work, and the government would have gotten something from them instead of killing them. Because you see, when you kill them, what do you achieve? If somebody wants to plot a coup against this government or this country, do we think that the people will just sit aloof and discuss for people to know? Coup plotting does not start just like that. And you see, when you study conflict resolution or conflict itself, conflict starts from the family. Now, when two people do this, years to come, you will find their children's children coming to ask why their parents were killed. And to start creating problems for this country in the near future. We should be careful as a country.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well said.
Points made.
Me say near kanana o kanu. Aha. Inti no ye nyina ye wo the same page. Aha. Na emum ye ntumi so enka se atembu edwuma yefo omo anye ne ye. You can't say that. The san say e wo mra ne mu. Inti na agese ye nyina as a country as a oman no ye nyina ye kan ya adwin bom say
Kwesi afre. So these people are going on a competition. Hello, good morning, Kwesi.
Good morning.
To say Adiachi ampa.
I hope say you are okay.
Oh, nyame ado. Ye
okay. So on the issues, with the sentence, from what I know, for a while now, as we have clearly stated, we have not practiced hanging.
Yeah.
So you are convicted, or that is given as a punishment, but then you are sentenced to life imprisonment. So they will not be killed, but then from what I know, they will be put into prison for life.
Yeah.
So the action of the punishment.
And what is this? I'll pray and what frebium na Kwesi one or chat until they send a text message. That was 0256253461. And now say Papa Facebook WTV Ghana so my would definitely.
But when a text message be so you can prepare to whilst also gives is concluding was also for inti ye pepe chiri kra no dey na obeka their title.
Inti yenwie na me ka bibi na Kwesi ebe mu yenwie ewo sa death penalty discussion hu say ewo mranimu and say ye timemfo Ghana fo yi yankasa na yebetumi aka ho asem na yadwenwen wo yatoto adwen na fi say yebi fi hono ma yi fi hono ewo ye mranimu ne de ye ntumi enka se na otemuafo no wanye ne yi se ose yen sentence no yebu obi kumfo wuntumi nkasa isan se ewo mren wankofa mfi bebia o eda so ewo ho no ye yin fi ho no de a ene wo ye sei ya sei ono obetumi aka ne saa na mom se ne na Kwesi eka no ya in practice no for 30 years and over yen share da enkun bi se ebia wo yebu an kumfo nti ekwa kokoko no nanso ma wuri mfi se. And I said we should not be oblivious of the fact that a president can decide to sign, and when he signs, it becomes say. So, but in practice, no, na ye were receiving say man that is relation. Into some crofoni in our call for life. Now you who say we have outgrown this as a country, as nationals within this nation. You boom na ye to you be to me as a son emrano. Ye no na yes nyame adom ne nshira na wotwe ye na aka nyina sa na wotwe we mu aye fi January mu akọ February mu na wona wotwe mu a enti nyame nshira bibia
1 month gone already
me ba ye ade ba ko na ye ni jesem akwisi ade si ye ewo Mount Olivet ma sorry mu se mi super right Reverend Christopher Nyako andam si adano di ni 60th enti no so fopon onkwaso bompa ese nyame ema o more years na enyina ye nsunsua bebre emfri wo honom irade nshira na yesre amo bibia
amen
that's enti ahwefo be me say aha na ye de room pompon so a ye gimre eduadua nsem na ha na ye DBC eye Osofopeni Eric Amehe oye PR anchor for the Methodist Church Ghana. Ye try ho aba ye ba ye be ko insurance so any apomuden. Ye damos.
Sana ye numa se die sankofa natural spices adarumanti. Ja be hu ne senti yemfa ya pomuden ni agobio. Ghana fu ani age. Efri say ya your local spices na ya frafra dia ye sankofa natural spices. And what dance die ni die e dross bebre. Tie dia fufuo kafa sankofa natural spices.
As a busy career woman, I save so much time now. Me pick garlic. When Tiani Ade ewa asenkamu view, sankofa natural spices at some breast super. Na me de gumi jollof mu. Ne me still ahuduma emane dance.
Darling, the barbecue they go on, and with sankofa natural spices, I'm started at one time. And my name is dead.
Rekese ewa sankofa natural spices modida. Me de yemi soups na. Me customers into me huja. Eti debia na me choba higher. Na fufro cry ye dia beka ho. Sankofa natural spices. Didi.
So pesa obeye ensem training a enye school bi akeke ene wo so ko ene school a mekamfo dia mawa eye Oxford Institute of Business and Journalism admission ashase 2021-2022 academic year or 2-year NABTES diploma programs BTC journalism and media studies business administration and hospitality management short courses our between 6 months cosmetology and makeup digital and social media marketing radio broadcasting and a video and photography. Our facilities are wodua ebe bowa dishia. Your hostel facilities are obenya baby ada TV any radio studio what be your practicals obetro computer environment nanka sansono ewo ye kama achechire fo no so wo mabin na se wo wie wadishia attachment any adwuma sam de woni how kra enti kan wen kope admission forms ne bi to sisia eye 60 Ghana cedis ewo ye 2 campuses ni nyina Kumasi kwada so Oshimasi Rollers ana Santasi Star Junction ana Frey 0504-234005 ana 0244-724087.
Yearning for accurate, informative, and Christ-centered news content? Then tune in to Wesleyan Television every weekday at 12 noon for undiluted news stories in Ghana and across the globe. The BTV Midday News brings you updates on social, Christian, political, and community developmental stories across the 16 regions of Ghana. This and every weekday at 12 noon for all your news updates. Wesleyan Television, reaching out to the world.
The news is read to you by Anita na Afarley Quarcoo and 𝗟𝗏𝗍.
Yema yehu akwaba eba apomuden. So apomuden segment is proudly sponsored by Pptes Institute. Pptes Institute ewo Kotwi Kumase on say oyare wadwene na say o how bia eye addiction a omutimi boa ema unya wayaresa pepepe. This morning we are looking at a very important topic. Obroni beka say clearing your environment of all stagnant water. Ensuo eto anase yehwie ensuo gu ya na eta ginagina na obehwe say gotamu ne ensuo gina ho. Sa gotamu ensuo ya egina hwei. Obehwe no na afei acheche roba na achi efi na afei ntontom kra so enyini wo ho. We are saying that anytime you realize there is a standing stagnant water, ensuo bi a entini bia no say entuhwa edemoaba. So we're asking that if you have any stagnant water that is in your environment, please make a conscious effort to let it flow, sweep it away, let it flow away. Yes, sir. Edemoabeba enkankan entontom na entontom so de munimu eye yade edeba. This morning we are appealing that stagnant water that do not flow is hazardous and can cause diseases in your environment. And so we are advising say insua ejina entene no moma nentene na emfi eye mantem ho so that we can be healthy. Apomdin segment is brought to you by 𝗟𝗡 Institute. Please call them now and be rest assured that you will be treated of any psychological and psychiatric condition. Thank you.
The 𝗟𝗡 Institute, the Extension Center for Integrative Therapy, Wellness, and Restoration, is a peaceful place to recover and reflect. 𝗟𝗡 Institute is located in Kumasi in the Ashanti region of Ghana. What is your true north? Your true north is what keeps you grounded and gives your life a purpose. But when alcohol and drug dependency gets in the way, you lose sight of it and become adrift. At 𝗟𝗡 Institute, we can help you and your family set a course for your lasting recovery. 𝗟𝗡 Institute is a premier addiction recovery facility that is set to help addicted individuals return to a successful, sober living. Our experienced professionals include psychiatrists, clinical and pastoral counselors, recovered drug counselors, and nurses. These professionals are empowered with treatment and recovery tools to help you manage your life without alcohol and other drugs. 𝗟𝗡 Institute is an ultra-modern rehab that meets global standards. It includes a fully furnished residential rehab with 3 types of rooms available. That is, VIP rooms, professional rooms, as well as standard rooms with bunk beds, air-conditioned rooms, free laundry services, library services, 24-hour clinical support, online sessions with the Extension Institute, 𝗟𝗎𝗍, 3 daily meals with snacks, and 24-hour security services. For admissions and referrals in Ghana, please call 03-224 96188. In the USA, call 404-735-7697. 𝗟𝗡 Institute, the Extension Center for Integrative Therapy. Home away from home.
Hello and welcome to Insurance Minutes, proudly brought to you by 𝗟𝗏𝗏 Insurance Company. And if you want any insurance policy at all, you can contact them through their email info@𝗟𝗏𝗏insurance.com. But today, if you want to get your motor insurance policy, you can do so by chatting AC on the WhatsApp number, and in a matter of 10 minutes, you'll get your insurance ready for you. We'll go take a look at what AC has for us. We'll be back.
Hi. I'm 𝗟𝗏𝗏𝗏. You can call me 𝗟𝗏𝗏𝗏D. I'm your virtual insurance underwriter who can get your motor insurance policy in just 10 minutes. All you have to do is send hi on WhatsApp number 050-168-7806 and it is done effortlessly. We're good to go. If it must be done, it must be done well.
Locate Danwell Insurance at 𝗟𝗏𝗃 St. Quarcoo Hill in Osu, Accra, or you can text or send them an email on info@danwellinsurance.com. We're back after this. Are you yearning for accurate, informative, and Christ-centered news content? Then tune in to Wesleyan Television every weekday at 12 noon for undiluted news stories in Ghana and across the globe. The meeting with midday news brings you updates on social, Christian, political, and community developmental stories across the 16 regions of Ghana. This and every weekday at 12 noon for all your news updates. Wesleyan Television, reaching out to the world.
The news is read to you by 𝗟𝗏𝗏𝗘 and 𝗟𝗏𝗏𝗘.
Don't call me, oh, don't call me. WTV Bronya Braimu Emma Akwanya Sonko and $1.20 80% discount and your demo our side for the you. A free sabre ecosi January Bosome ida a chatwo. Bra Sukuna war. A dana with ye. Jume biara we are opesi abo de no. Ye amount 80% discount. Ani 80% discount. Bra betua kakra bi na ye mo de mount. From Peninfo our telephone number is so 0240 847864.
Shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty, and I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress. Oh my God, in Him do I trust. I'm the one I don't repeat. In that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High, shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. And I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress. Oh my God, in Him do I trust. Hey, Adonai
ahwefo ye ma ye ho akwaba ye san ama ye nyina ache aba sorena shrine semobe kaya. This is the time where we pick almost about 1 hour and pick one very important issue. Your friend asem kese na ye domu esuko. Obroni beka say the trajectory of businesses, or better still Ghanaian businesses. So be say oh ye dwuma o sha se fi he. So be say onyankopon de ne dum pompon so bi won adwuma yo mu a owie suku. Oko school nto aso okoye adwuma enfa no wadu. One of the concerns of many has been the fact that most Ghanaian businesses do not travel beyond the first and second generations. Those and many others we are going to discuss a little bit more. I told you, sir, we have a surprise for you. And this morning I have a father, a true son of the Methodist Church, Ofi Apa, Dr. 𝗟𝗜𝗍𝗘 Yamson is my guest this morning. Papa, dear friend, this man needs no further introduction. He is the chairman of the Yamson and Associates. Yeda Papa say, we know he's a very busy man. Papa say, Papa, ye feed so the oba your man quite now chia. So you may want to greet a few people, then we can.
Remember, we nache. Maybe some for Brahman contrase and Ejmawu Kobe. Na me Asorumba, Cabre Methodist Church. Our mention here. And I'm my uncle for many anum. Titsu Basofwe. I want to watch him. Ababa was in the same. The Muina asset.
Okay.
We are already program yano pay. Mamanache. The Muina asset, the Muina and Roche. Westland television.
Yedase. Panti, I know I mentioned Apam, you're trying to whisper something. You know, for us who read about you, there is so much mention of Apam in most of the things you say. Yeah. So sometimes we are confused really about whether you come from Apam. Do you have a lineage there? Yeah. Where were you born?
Well, I was born at Breman Constance.
Okay.
In the Breman traditional area. And most people will confuse Kontrase in the central region with Kontrase at the lake side in Lake Bosomche.
Okay.
Because Kontrase, that's what people's mind will take you to. But if you Kontrase, Apam features very strongly in my life.
Okay.
Because Apam Secondary School shaped my life. Apa school 7 years from Form 1 to Upper 6.
Okay.
Metina software degree Johnson. On no school nasi. Na metina nichen there neba from Form 1 to Form 3. Ni we in the Uncle Share Secondary School last.
I see, okay.
And see original I actually went with him to Apam to Swedru. And decided to start from Form 1, even though I was going to Form 3, because he was going to start the school from Form 1.
Oh,
that's how close I was to him.
Okay.
But then he handed me over to the next headmaster, popularly known as Power Radio. But the school shaped my life because the motto of the school is Obrapa.
Okay.
And in English, we say character and efficiency.
Okay.
It's your character that will determine how far you go in life. Whether you succeed, whether you don't succeed, whether you be prosperous or not. You talk about business. It's the behavior of the business that will determine how long it will exist. And see, Apam, my documentary has been shown recently. And it features very strongly because, and it is very dear to my heart. Because I always say that, say, Usuban in Siko, a bayes car bandana brodo coffee me henfa. Iye yam. Because can ye be biara? Musuban, no Zoboko babyara.
Okay.
And because I have lived by the motto of that school, that is why wherever I am, I exhibit the nature and the behavior and the character of the school. Because it's not just the motto. The school expects that even after you have left, you will live the motto of the school.
Okay.
That your character should show that you are a man of integrity, you are a man of honesty, you are a man of dedication, that you are not afraid to work.
Yes.
And see, that's why many people confuse me.
That you come from Apam. Yes. So you know that confusion, but I myself have always thought that. Yeah. It was one of the questions I was going to ask you. Apam.
Yeah, that is it.
And you remember we were talking about Osofo Pratt and how closely you are. Yes. Dear friends, we are with our father, Dr. 𝗟𝗡𝗙, who is the chairman of the Yamsen and Associate. He is also a true Methodist and a member of the Calvary Society in Adabraka. This morning we are looking at navigating the business world. Business nanso ya papa de be me say ofano fala ofano form. Papa, your life history is very fascinating. Please take us through how you were born. We understand at some point in time your parents were really seeking for your coming. I will put it like, because they had tried several times in welcoming a child. Please take us through your birth.
I'm sorry, but let me make it brief. My mother's name is Rebecca Aqua.
Okay.
And my father's name is Philip Thomas Yamsen.
Okay.
Mama and Papa will share, na Mamma, na name Africa cry.
Okay.
And son and can warrant. Now, my grandparents had 15 births. 11 had died. And at the time I was born, only 3 were surviving.
Okay.
So they had no boy. And they were yearning to get a boy when my mother gave birth to me. So for them, it was a God-sent gift.
Okay.
That a male boy had eventually arrived in the family. And it's a terrible story because, you know, those days the feeling was that the 11 children died because of the witches in my mother's family. So there was pressure on my grandfather to divorce my grandmother.
Okay.
You know, my grandfather brought Methodist Church to Bremen Constance. And he said, I took this woman to Sopon Methodist Church and got married to her those days.
Okay.
And I swore before the altar never to divorce her, and I will never do that.
Even in those days?
Yes. And he never did.
Okay.
So my grandfather took me under his umbrella as his son. Unfortunately, my father and my mother divorced.
Okay.
And I was only probably less than 18 months old when they divorced. Because the child after me also immediately died. And my father's feeling was that, those witches have started their thing again.
They are striking.
They are going to visit the witches on me. So no. I don't want to remain in this family. Yeah. So he decided to divorce my mother. My mother at the time was very ill, I understand. So indeed, it was my grandmother who also had a child at the time we were about 6 months old difference, who breastfed me together with her own child.
Wow.
Yes.
Interesting.
So, and so when my mother got married again and left the village, and we Methodists, those days, if you were a catechist, you were not allowed to marry a divorcee. So my mother was a divorcee then. So my mother could not present me as her child. So the only people I knew growing up as my father and my mother were my grandfather and my grandmother.
Okay.
And I called them mother and father till they died.
Oh.
Because they were, so the people who have shaped my life, if you put Apam Secondary School out, that's my grandparents. They made me who I am.
Wow.
They were core Methodists. They were hardcore Christians. And I remember going to secondary school, you know what he gave me? A Bible. That's all he gave me.
That is a Methodist grandparent.
Yes. I said, who be there who are me with them book him. One course school now.
Okay.
But to see A, B, C, D, Wufi, till you could read the Fanti Bible. Any question in life, you can find an answer in this book.
And this is around which year? I'm beginning to speculate.
This is 1950. Okay, I started school in 1940. They're about 49.
Okay.
But I went to secondary school in 1957.
Oh, right.
So I'm talking about 57 occurrence.
Okay, a little after independence.
A little after, no, the year of 6 months, 7.
Okay.
In fact, my generation who went secondary school, we went secondary school in January as Gold Coasters.
Okay.
In March, we had become Ghanaians. So we are the only generation in Ghana
that attended school with Gold Coast and Ghana. Right.
Mr. Yawa Safamafo always.
Oh, was your mate?
No, he was my mate, but he was in another school.
Okay.
But he was the first person who actually drew my attention. Do you realize that we went to school as Gold Coasters, and in 3 months we had become Ghanaians?
Interesting. Yeah. And the name Ishmael also means so much to you and your grandparents.
Yes.
How does Ishmael inform the future we are about to talk about?
Well, my grandfather thought that I was a gift of God. So he gave me the name Ishmael.
Ishmael.
And he kept explaining to me why I was important to him. And he told me the story about Hagar and all the rest. So it's a story that sometimes gets very emotional
a bit emotional, yes.
And I will come to this when we come to
your business.
Talk about business.
Yes.
That environment did many things to me.
You mean the secondary school environment?
No,
or
the
home environment.
My home environment.
Very well.
The circumstances of my birth, the circumstances of my grandparents.
Okay.
Because as early as 9 years, I was determined to change the lives of my grandparents.
9 years?
Yes, and I told my grandparents, one early morning, and we will go to morning service, not in the village. So we go at 4 a.m. But we will have to wake up and pray before we go to service.
Okay.
So after the prayer, I said to Nana, that's me, you know, me see
9 years?
9 years. But we were a very poor family. And the old man looked at me and couldn't believe what I was saying to him. So we went to church, we came back, and he then took me back to the room. And let me tell you, I slept with my grandfather till I went to university.
Okay.
We slept on the same bed.
Where was grandma at the time?
My grandma would live in another room.
Okay, and you will be with the old man.
Old man with the old man.
Okay.
So, at a very early age, when I had literally lost my mother because he's got married to a catechist, they were living somewhere. I went to school. Those days there was no Form 1. Let me just go back and say, you have to do Class 1A, Class 1B, Class 1C before you go to Class 2, Class 3, Class 4.
Yeah.
And then Standard 4, you go to Form 1.
Okay.
Form 1, there was no Form 1 in the contrast. There's
the
a
middle
small
school.
Village. Yeah, middle school. So I was taken to Jambra.
Okay.
Also in the Bremen traditional area. And I had to walk 6 miles every morning to school. And 6 miles every evening after school. But before you start the journey, you wake up at 3 a.m. to go to the farm to bring food stuff. Because my stepfather would not eat anything which is more than 24 hours.
Oh.
Everything he ate might be fresh. He lived very long, many years, over 100 years. Everything he ate must be fresh. So you wake up, go to the farm, bring food before you come and wash and walk. I know those days there aren't many tarred roads in Ghana. That's the road. So from Jambra, from Fusiansa to Jambra, you walk 6 miles. By the time you get to school, you are late. Until you then can say late to school.
Teacher,
literally every week I will be caned twice or thrice. But God so great, I was so clever and intelligent, and so I was first in class every time. So the headmaster, for that, he would save me the punishment of the cane.
Right. Interesting.
But after 1 year, my grandfather wasn't too happy with the conditions and decided that, okay, Bracontra's in a school or Dobin.
Okay.
Again, another 5
so
miles.
that is how Odobin also came into the story. Yeah.
And see, they could translate to Odobin. That's for 3 years. So you are walking 5 miles in, 5 miles out. 5 miles in, 5 miles out. And my grandfather would give me, those days, 2 shillings 6 pence a week. That's a lot of money.
Yes.
Now, I will spend maybe half, because a quarter man cannot watch you Damba, which is 2 pence, 12 pence those days. Into me,
yeah.
Tikakana me this year. Our me Babwana no dosa. Then, if my mother visits the village, she always take me aside and question me about my happy. I couldn't understand why this woman was bothering me. So I asked my grandfather, who is this woman who's always asking me whether I'm happy and blah, 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 blah. But he never told me that that's your mother.
Oh, okay.
But if I get up to, say, £1, when this woman comes, I'll give to her. But I had no idea.
You thought it was an auntie?
An auntie who was just interested in my well-being.
Yeah.
So that went on, and then for my grandfather, I should become a priest of the Methodist Church.
Okay.
And see, maybe a school, middle school, now me a common entrance. I'm a year minister 7. My pass. While I'm a catechist, I call here commander training college. I can call commander. And son, I call a friend Kumasi Wesley. And son, we are before you go to the priesthood.
Yes.
See, well, you want to stop me? I mean, every now the village catechist then comes and says, now, offer Mr. Amon, ne uncle, ne direct uncle, ne mammy. Reverend Gabriel.
Okay.
About fear no do. About it also no name. Most of my been also. All commander. Also. Now where school will be wapa or your Methodist full school. Now or your Methodist in base My grandfather was not interested. He wants his grandchild to be Osofu. You are coming to talk about secondary school. So this catechist clever says, "Oh, don't worry. We'll be secondary school now. Still, about to Bako.
Continue suffer.
Continue suffer. Baby, I don't to me this off." So reluctantly, he agrees. But he said, "I want to go to the school and see it myself."
Okay.
The Ebasa. First, you have phone called Robin because there's no vehicle between Contrans and Robin. Of course, he went and met Reverend Graf Johnson, and he was overly excited. Methodist, he suffered. Or said, "But the Nasha was sad." So them is not on the fact.
Okay.
The minister with Graf Johnson 3 years. And of course, Apam then became part of me. One background crime in Befi. Throughout the holidays.
Wow.
The 7 years I spent at Apam, I probably came on holidays maybe thrice or 4 times.
Interesting. So will you say that your Methodist training and background right from the house coupled with the Apam training, which was also Methodist, is what is now going to inform the future we're about to talk about?
I would say that my Methodist values as what had shaped my life. Because Apam starts at Methodist Secondary School. I was confirmed at Apam by Reverend Ebiata.
Oh, Reverend Ebiata.
Yes, he confirmed me at Apam.
Okay.
So, and every Sunday, the headmaster will come and stand at the entrance of the church and will mark the register.
Okay.
Samba Asora Monday morning, even Apam, you became.
In the secondary school.
I'm telling you. So the Methodist values, the training, and I can tell you that 9 years I was playing the organ at the church.
Oh.
My uncle was the singing band master and at the same time the choir master.
I have wondered why you like him so much. I didn't know you have a background. You and your son Harry, you like music.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
You played?
I play, and I still play.
Oh.
I have a guy in my house. I play from time.
Very interesting. But let's move quickly into your secondary. So now we know how Apam has shaped you. You've moved from the secondary school. You are in the university now.
Yes.
What happened at the university, and how did you quickly land your first job?
The university was an interesting episode as well.
All right.
Because we have a few classes. And if you know Legon very well, the layout is simply beautiful. So I enter Legon from the village. And I go to the registry where I locate 𝗟𝗡𝗙𝗏.
Okay.
For all the 3 years I was in Legon, first let me say, first I went to Legon to do geography.
Okay.
I wanted geography, and then you chose where you want to be. Not that now that they write you and say we are giving you this course.
You choose your own.
You choose your own course for your career. I had done geography at sixth form. I did geography, economics, and mathematics. So I was more interested in geography. I loved particularly regional geography those days. I wanted geography, and hey, this place, when you come, it's a top place. So I ran away. Then I go to maths because I wanted to do mathematics. Okay. I didn't find anybody there because people just were scared of doing mathematics at the time. I ran away. I went to the economics department. At least I found 7 people.
Okay.
Right? And those days, only 3 schools were teaching economics at A level in Ghana.
You mean the secondary school?
Yeah,
so
Apam, Prempeh College, and St. Louis in Kumasi.
Oh.
That's all.
Wow.
So most of us had come from those 3 schools. And also, and I later found out that my cousin was also my mate.
Mate in the university.
My course mate.
Okay. What is his name?
Mrs. Bintu Williams.
Oh,
Mary.
okay.
Yeah, she passed Johnny recently. And because I was so poor, even in Legon, I had a friend who came from a very wealthy family, 𝗟𝗏𝗏𝗏, from the crab family.
The crab, okay.
Her mother was a big trader, a very generous man. So every week her mother would bring food and provisions and all the things that we needed.
Later he would go into law.
Well, he didn't. He was a trained teacher before coming to university.
Oh, he was all right.
So I would wash his clothes to be able to get soap to wash my clothes. Wow. And that's why these days when young men and young girls feel that there's too much hardship, I said, no, that must toughen you because you have passed through that before. I didn't have money to buy Lux soap and Key soap. No, I had to wash somebody's clothes. But university life those days were just great because
yeah, at least you had food to eat.
You have to, but we eat 4 times a day.
Wow.
actually, if you add the
in between
breaks,
meals,
it's 5. Okay. So you have breakfast, then you have 10 o'clock tea, then you have lunch, then you have 3, 4 coffee or tea, and then 5 dinner.
Wow.
5.
I'm sure no students will fail.
No, you were paid to be in the university.
Okay.
Yeah, I had allowance to be in every term. We call 13 million. 13 pounds at those days. Okay. You were given money to be in the university. Right? And so, and for the 3 years, I had my own room.
Alone?
From 1 to Form 3, from first year to third year.
The third year.
Alone. With my room, my balcony, everything, you know, my bed. You get out in the morning, you put your shoes in front of your door. By the time you come, it's been polished. You put your dirty clothes on your bed. It's ironed and washed and ironed and packed there. Your bed is made. You lived a very, I mean,
comfortable
to
life.
Come from the village and be
a poor boy enjoying life now.
Oh, by far. And I enjoyed economics, but of course, that was also the period of great tumult in the university.
Okay.
Because that was towards, so I went to Lagos in 1963. That was the period, Ghana's hardship had started about 1961.
Yeah.
The very first budget deficit in this country
was in
1961. By 1963, the government was broke. But we were entitled to food. And I can tell you, we went on strike simply because we had been fed rice for 1 week. Oh. Can you imagine?
One-way ration.
And 1 way for 1 week. Oh.
Yeah.
We were very angry. Why should we give us only rice for 1 week? We want better food. But in Nkrumah's opposition, the greatest center, the fire center, was in Lagos.
Okay.
Could go to the law department, the law faculty, economic department, the political science, who were the troublesome department.
Religion, sociology, history.
They were quite.
Okay. Okay.
They were calmer than the economic people, and because you know in the economy there was conflict between the socialist economics, and you know the free market economics. Yes. And those of us who have come through the free market economics could not understand why someone should come and tell centralized planning and all this. So we were simply opposed to it.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, Nkrumah was I mean, from hindsight, I think we're all very misguided young people. Because we never understood
Nkrumah
at the time. Because I always say that Nkrumah, 2 things. He was a visionary man who lived well ahead of his time.
Okay.
But I found it difficult and, you know, patient enough to bring along his followers with him. There are a lot of people who were in the CPP understood, maybe. But the greater majority of Ghanaians could not simply understand why this man is telling us. When we see Chinese who all wear 1 suit, and why do you want all of us to wear 1 suit? Yeah. Not possible. And we misunderstood him.
Was it the case that Ghanaians thought he was moving ahead of us? or we thought he was simply mismanaging our funds?
It was a complex situation. Being ahead of us was one.
Okay.
Socialism was another.
No, that
will be the fourth one. But the third problem for me was more about the politics of the time.
Okay.
And Ghana's bane, one of Ghana's bane has been its politics. Because, and I met Nkrumah personally as a student.
Okay.
There were many excesses. In Lagos, many young people were just hauled to jail for opposing Nkrumah.
Okay.
So for us, we associated socialism with lack of free speech.
Okay.
And in Lagos, freedom of speech, academic freedom was central, and today it is still central to Lagos. That if you cannot express your opinion, if you cannot debate your opinion, if you cannot allow the best mind, to win, but you use might, then it's contrary to all the things that we have learned everywhere. And and that was clamored by the pastor of the PDA, Preventive Detention Act, which so many people wanted. Some maybe legitimately, but many others were just on suspicion. And that was the time when even in your own family, you couldn't talk to your children because you were young pioneer members.
They will go and expose.
Yes. So this was the whole politics of the people. And then, of course, Nkrumah was a visionary and ambitious person. And when we come to business, I would relate this to this.
To Nkrumah.
Because he had a purpose for Ghana and for Africa.
Okay.
But it was in the execution of that purpose that everything went wrong.
Wow. So we are going to move into business very soon. Let me just bring my viewers to speed. We are speaking with Uncle Ishmael Yamsen, who is chairman of Yamsen and Associates, a true son of the Methodist Church, a man whose life was shaped by his grandparents through Methodist training, and also at the Palm Secondary School through the ethics and the morals of the Methodist Church. Now he's in the University of Ghana. He is influenced by Nkrumah's ideology. There are oppositions as well. But this man is quickly going to land himself a job. Uncle, let's continue from when the thought of a first job started.
Well, I wanted to be a soldier.
Oh!
And actually, those days, you didn't have to apply for a job.
Okay.
By the time you have written your exams, you go to the notice boards, there are job offers from literally all the companies in Ghana. Because that was the period where many foreign companies were looking for Ghanaians to replace their expatriate staff.
That's right.
So I had about 7 offers, but there was also offers from the military academy, Ghana Armed Forces.
Okay.
Looking for young graduates to join the army. And I jumped at it. Because those days, we were in our last year when the 66 coup was
staged.
Yeah. And in the military academy, for instance, their lecturers were largely from Canada, from India, and they had all left because they just couldn't understand that the violent overtake of power. So they were looking for replacement, and those who were going to join the regular army and the rest of it. So I chose to go to the army.
Okay.
But at the same time, I had offers from 𝗟𝗡 of Ghana, UTC, all those companies.
Big trading.
So I went there. At first, during the holidays, I was attached to the ordnance depot. At the time was under one Colonel 𝗟𝗡𝗙𝗘.
Should be an Anglo person.
Yes. So we were there for about 3 months, and then we went to military academy training school. But as fate will have it, just before we start training, the commandant of the training center sent for me. I went to see him. He said, young man, you are a very small, thin person. You've got a good degree. You're extremely intelligent. Why do you want to be here? I don't think you'll be a good soldier. Because you are too small for the army life.
Military hustle.
Yes. So you can't be here. You have to go away. And I was standing, and he kept saying, sit down. Because I said, in the military, you can't do that. Yeah, but he forced me to sit down. I sat down. Then I said, Father, he then spoke to me gently and said, he thinks I can have a better career outside of the army. So I should go. And you won't believe that early morning, it is his own vehicle with a driver who came to pick me and take me out of the place.
Wow.
So my auntie was living around the post office area.
You mean Accra Post Office
Accra
area?
Post Office, the main central post office. Those days, the opposite was Bartholomew. They were the dealers of Mercedes-Benz. And my auntie saw me and started crying. She thought I had been sacked. I said, no, I've not been sacked. They say I'm too small. I can't be a soldier. So, but I had an offer from 𝗟𝗎𝗍 to come for an interview.
Okay. Was it just when you were asked to go away, or it was a previous one?
I got it before I attempted to join the
military. Okay.
So I entered the interview, and that's another interesting episode. You know, I don't come from Accra. So after I finished Legon, I didn't have a place to stay, but a friend who was also in the same hall, who was a very mature student, had a private school of his own before coming to Legon, offered a house to me, offered me a house around Abaka Junction.
Okay.
At that time, Accra ended at the police depot. Beyond police depot, there was no buildings.
All over.
Just forest.
Okay.
This house was uncompleted. So you can live here. You won't pay me rent, but you come to my school and teach for free. So I stay at Abeka Junction. I take Trotro and go to Usu.
Okay.
Salem.
Usu Salem.
To go and teach. Then I go for this interview. So because I sat in Trotro, and before I thought I have to dress well. So I went to UTC, GNTC. They were the only people selling suits. And all the suits were Chinese suits. Okay. You know, the Chinese, they are short. So the arm of the suit was somewhere here. Then I bought an Ivanhoe shirt. You people don't know
Ivanhoe. At all.
Was the preeminent shirt. But that one was longer. So the arm here, you know, up to here, and the suit is here. I looked very awkward. And I sat in the trotro. So by the time I got to 𝗟𝗎𝗍 at the Swami near Makola.
Makola, yes.
I was looking very dirty. Dust everywhere. But it was time for the interview. So I asked for the place where the interview was being held. And I just went. They called my name. I opened the door. A panel of 9. And they were shocked to see me. I mean, my suit was dusty, my shirt, my face,
sweaty.
Everywhere. Sweating. And I had to myself, where is this bushman from?
He said it in English?
He said it in English.
Okay. Were they all expatriates?
No, he said it in Fante.
So there were some
That's right. There was a panel of, I think, at about 6 expatriates and 3 Ghanaians.
Okay.
So he was among one of these three who spoke in the Infante and asked.
Yes, but he didn't want the white people to know it.
All right.
But the Infante, but they all three of them were Infantes.
Okay.
I will crash in the way. So I said, and for somebody coming for an interview and you are greeted with a bushman.
Demoralized.
So I stood there. Sit down. I sat down. And he was the one doing all the questions at the time. Oh. What's your name? 𝗟𝗏𝗡𝗏. But you have Evans in the middle of it. I said, yes. 𝗟𝗏𝗡𝗏. Where do you come from? My father is from Sopon, my mother is from Nakontra. Ah, 𝗟𝗏𝗏𝗏 na ejim de mi a.
You still said it in the Infante.
He still said it in the Infante. 𝗟𝗏𝗏𝗏 na ejim de mi. Then see, I'm glad about her. So I bathed. But I sat in Trotro
Wahala.
Okay, sit down. Then we had to go through the interview. Then the chairman of the panel asked me, okay, young man, tell me, I've asked everybody who come here one question. Where will you be 20 years from now? I didn't allow the man to finish. I said, I'll be the chairman of this company sitting in your chair.
You don't mean. And he was an expatriate, a white person.
Oh, yeah, he was. Hood, Arnold Root. I remember his name.
All right.
So I'll be a chairman of this company sitting in your chair. They all burst into laughter. They thought probably this guy boy was crazy. Because those days, even to become a district manager, we probably would take you up to when you are 50 years or 55, when you are about to retire.
Yeah.
And you, 30 man like you come here, you'll be chairman in 20 years.
Yeah. Very amazing. Before you continue, I want to see the place of prayer in going for an interview, because you are a Methodist. Was there any thought of going to a prayer camp to pray or seeking the face of? It was an interview.
Look, listen, I was brought up, waking up every morning at 4 a.m. to pray.
Okay.
That was my life. So for me, I mean, when people, I always say to my children, I know one lesson from the Bible. So when Jesus came, the curtain was torn apart. And we now can talk to God direct. So why do I need somebody's intervention to reach God? If that man can speak to God, I can speak to God direct. I can't speak to God only if I don't do what God wants me to do. Then there will be a darkness between myself and God. But so long as I obey God and I obey His laws and principles, I must feel proud. Because Jesus said, we are joint heirs. Is that not what Jesus said?
Exactly.
So why am I going around looking for somebody to come and pray for me? Pray for what? What prayer can he say that I can't say? And I said to people, there's everything in the Methodist Church.
Everything in the Methodist.
Everything in the Methodist Church. The Methodist Church can heal. The Methodist Church can prophesy. The Methodist Church can do everything that everybody else does.
This must go into our daily bulletin. So there is everything in the Methodist Church.
Yes.
According to Papa 𝗟𝗏𝗏𝗏,
Yes.
the Methodist Church can pray, it can prophesy, and it can do all the healing.
Yes.
Please continue.
So I had prayed, said my early morning prayer. But those days, if you want to make a telephone call, you go to the post office to book. So I'd gone to book to speak to my grandfather the evening before the interview.
Okay.
And told him that I was going for this interview, and so he should pray for me. And so, oh, don't worry. God will be with you.
Amen.
So we finished the interview, but before we finished, he said, they said, okay, it's all right, young man, just go down there. There's a washroom there. Go wipe your place and come. So I came back and said, well, we finished the interview. There's lunch. Don't worry. Go there, because then there was lunch for the staff. Go and have something to eat, and you will hear from us. Within 1 week, I got my letter, offer letter. 6th November, I got the offer letter to start work. But to make it short, same date 20 years after, I got my letter as chairman of Unilever.
I think we should clap. so that this will be a combination of personal effort and intelligence plus the prayer you are praying.
Of course, yes.
And that is what I want to establish for our viewers. Yeah. Dear viewers, we are with Uncle Ishmael Evans Yamson. Many of you didn't know there was Evans in between his name. He is a member of the Calvary Society in Adabraka of the Methodist Church, Ghana, a true son of a Methodist church, an old student of Apam Secondary School. We are looking at navigating businesses in Ghana. The Ghanaian business has a path. Now, this man, Grandpa, has such a formidable background from infancy that is informing his future. Now, he's done with the interview. He's been offered his first letter. And what position were you offered?
A trainee manager.
Trainee manager.
Yeah.
All right. Managerial position on your first interview.
Well, a trainee manager will not necessarily mean that you can become a manager.
Okay.
Because what it means that you are training to become a manager. So you can pass your training or you can fail.
Oh, okay.
But those days, it normally will take you 2 years.
Okay.
To be confirmed as our first level
trainee manager.
No, you are a trainee manager, and then you become an assistant manager.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
So it will take you 2 years to become assistant manager.
Okay.
And then another 2 years to become a full manager.
Okay.
So minimum 4 years. Some people will take 5, some people will maybe 6. They still wouldn't be full managers. 14 months exactly. I wasn't made an assistant manager, but I was made a full manager.
You skipped?
Yes.
The intermediary.
And that is 14 months from the date I started to when I became full manager. And the history in Unilever, in 𝗟𝗟𝗍, for somebody to come and 14 months to become manager.
It never happens.
Never happened.
We will be very interested in how you can squeeze the 20 years under some 2 minutes. Okay. So that you told the chairman at the panel that you were going to become the chairman in his stead. Tell us how you became the manager.
Yes. So I became full manager and I started at Accra Ice Company. Okay. All young people who know. But right opposite next door to Accra Municipal Center, the old offices in the corner was Accra Ice Company.
Okay.
That's why I started. After 6 years, I was transferred from Accra Ice Company to Kumasi Brewery.
Okay.
Where I then became, before I left Accra Ice Company, I had already become a middle manager. I went to Kumasi Brewery, and in a year, I became a senior manager and a director of Kumasi Brewery. Okay. I was there for 6 years. Then I was moved to 𝗟𝗟𝗍 Textiles. And I was managing 𝗟𝗟𝗍 Textiles, GB Urban Textiles, GTP, and Japan Textiles. 4. Then after 6 years, I was then offered 2 jobs. But I was invited to London and offered 2 jobs. One, to go to 𝗏𝗟𝗏𝗏. 𝗏𝗟𝗏𝗏 was a food company producing ice cream and all the rest of it. Sausage rolls, sausages, bacon, and they were exported to all over the world.
Okay.
And the man said to me, Ishmael, 2 jobs. That's one job, to be a marketing manager in the Midlands, the UK, or you go to Tanzania to be the chairman of a company that has never made money for 9 years, and which the company, Unilever, has been struggling as to whether it should keep it or close it down.
Yeah.
I looked at it, I said, I'll go to Tanzania. He said, what? Let me repeat the 2 offers. One is a marketing manager, a 𝗏𝗟𝗏𝗏 was big. And it's so big. In the Midlands, you will be based somewhere in Wolverhampton, or go to Tanzania where there's no food, you can't get toilet roll to buy, you can't get anything to buy, because that's the time when Nyerere
was in power. Yeah.
If you wanted to buy anything, you had to go to Kenya. I said, that's where I will go. Now, John Watt had lived and worked in Ghana before. He looked at me and said, maybe you didn't hear me well. I say it's between Tanzania, where there is literally famine, and UK. Today's Ghanaian will jump to go to jail, right?
Straight away.
I said, no, I'm going to Tanzania. He said, why? I said, John, you don't understand. I am born to face challenges and resolve the problem.
So what is that unique thing about you, something I call that competitive advantage that, number one, made all these bosses to see you as somebody who can do? And what is it from you that also makes you think you can always put up to the challenge?
And I will say it in one word, you must have a purpose for your life.
Purpose for your life.
You see, all along, remember I had said I want to be chairman of UAC.
Very good. So a follow-up question which you can add to this. Were you conscious of the 20 years? Did you want to fulfill the 20 years prophecy you had prophesied?
Yes. And I was reimagining it all the time. And I said to John, I said, you know something? If I'm a marketing manager in an English Midlands area, who will respect me? You. As I'm asking you. Black man.
Yeah.
Maybe in the company. Once you enter the company, they will respect you. Outside the company, no. When they say there's a thief, you will be the first suspect. If I go to Tanzania, that business you told me is dying. How far down can it go? So I want to go and prove to you that I can solve that problem. So I arrived in Tanzania. Luckily for me, as a Ghanaian, I was, hailed because a lot of the senior public servants were trained in Ghana, in Lagos.
Okay.
Nyerere himself had lived in Ghana before.
Yes.
And I had a letter from a Ghanaian diplomat introducing me to the president and the vice president. So I go. And he spoke Fante.
Oh.
Yeah.
The president?
I'm telling you.
Wow.
So I translate.
Hey.
You
don't mean it.
I'm telling you.
Julius.
Yes. Yes. I can't pay for a good be away and what the locking.
I ought to pass on.
Only be not him. He was the president. My house was not far from the president's house. He never had a motorcade when he was going to his office.
Okay.
Never. He would sit in the car with his driver and his CD in the car. The only thing that you see is the crown. And people will pull for him to pass. But he never used a motor rider. No. Never. So I arrived in Tanzania. Everybody is surprised what this crazy man
is coming to do.
So I arrived. My successor, my predecessor, had left the keys of the office to the secretary and just disappeared. So I arrived and I see two different companies. One, all Asians on one side, all local Tanzanians on the other side. And that immediately told me that this company, this is the problem it has.
Okay. So one company but divided.
Yes.
Asians one side,
yes.
African Tanzanians.
Yes. I said, but that wouldn't work. Because this is an African setting.
Yeah.
So I had my first meeting with the company. Every secretary was an Asian, every manager was an Asian, every senior man was an Asian, every junior man was Tanzanian. We can't practice this here.
Yeah.
So we have a meeting. I said, look, we need to do something very drastic about inclusivity. Today, people think that it's something very new, but it's not. Yeah. It's the way you manage it.
Yes.
So I said, okay, we need to have different directors, new directors. So I retire all directors who are Asians, and I appoint Tanzanians as directors. Give them houses. The spirit of the business changed immediately. I can tell you, I arrived end of June. The business had made losses for 9 years, remember. I started work in July. We posted our first profit after July.
Wow.
August, September, October, November, December, 5 months.
5 months?
Yes.
5 months. So, Uncle, Grandpa, let's use this as a model to now come towards the conclusion of our talk. We are looking at businesses in general. What unique thing did you introduce? Yes, you've said it, but I need us to highlight it. That really brought this resurrection. Ghanaian businesses are suffering. As I said, they do not live after the first generation. What is it that you brought within the company that changed the anatomy of the company?
I think, first of all, I've said it earlier that you must have a purpose for your business.
The purpose.
You have to have a purpose. The people would describe in many forms. I have a mission. I go to many offices, mission, blah, 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 blah. And yet their own behavior contradicts the mission.
What they have written.
So you have the mission, you have your purpose, but you also have to have strategies to deliver the purpose.
All right, so purpose and then strategy.
Yes.
Is that what we call the strategic plan?
Yes, people talk about strategic plan.
Yes.
And I've read many so-called strategic plans.
Which are not.
But I can tell you that the strategic plans we need reimagining.
Okay.
But you have to have, but the purpose and strategy are not even so important that the principles and the behaviors that will back the strategies and the purpose.
Okay, the principles and the behaviors that will back the strategy and the
But let me use Ghana as an example.
Please.
We are a rich country. And it is true we are a rich country. We shouldn't be poor. Our purpose must be like any country like Singapore, or Malaysia, or whatever.
Even China.
Even China. Because we have everything. We have the natural resources, we have the human resources to do this. But we have had far too many purposeless leaders. Right?
That's it. But they come with manifestos.
Okay. The manifesto, you have to differentiate between a manifesto as a propaganda document and a manifesto as a document with a purpose.
Workable.
Because if you have a purpose, you must have strategy to deliver, and you must actually execute it.
Okay.
So if you come and tell me that I want to transform education, right?
Yes.
Then you tell me, my question would be, how will I know when you have transformed the education? How will I know? Because I need to have benchmarks and measurements, right? So the principles and the behaviors and the values are most critical. Because most of the time, being a businessman, he says, first of all, where would you the management? No, so okay, but he has no idea what that business entails, why that person is doing it, and how he's doing it. But also knowing his country or okay. Maybe he goes in first year, second, third year, he succeeds. But the critical shortcoming of most of them is that they don't have the capacity to anticipate the future.
Okay.
Right? Because I always say that we all brag that we were great executives. But COVID-19 showed all of us that after all we were nothing.
We were not great at all.
We could not anticipate what was going to happen. Nobody anywhere in the world ever thought that the world could be shut down in one day.
Yeah.
But the whole world was shut down. So you must have the capacity to anticipate what is likely to happen. Look at now in Ghana, many businesses are struggling. Why are they struggling? Because they are struggling with a macro environment which is completely unpredictable. You don't know what's going to happen to the city tomorrow. So your ability to anticipate, to prepare for what you think is going to happen, and execute your plan if it should happen, so you are not surprised when it happens. Those are the things that don't make many Ghanaians survive the first generation.
Wow.
Because they manage the businesses for today. There's no vision, there's no purpose, there's no strategy to transform that, to build that business, make it 5 times bigger. I've been to India many times. I've met every business. Look, I'm telling you, 90% of the big businesses in India are family businesses. Why do they survive and we don't survive?
We don't survive in Ghana.
Because ono ye dwana ne mba ina do wan kogu abrochire na aka ono nko awa na e de fe de ne mba wa abrochire na ne mba no so whatever they are doing are unrelated to his job.
Ghana ni na aka na asemi.
Ghana ni na make na asemi. Ne mba wa abrochire and ono e store. All his vision is that one little shop. Or you go to a Ghanaian factory. I visited some factory today. They are using technology 30, 40 years ago. And I say, you can never be competitive.
Yes.
Because technology has changed. Today, it is changing at a pace that is unimaginable.
Alarming pace.
And who in Ghana is helping our business people to think that, look, listen, the world is not the same as when you started this business, and that you should reimagine it as you would have it today.
Is it not the case that when problems come, people feel they do not have a grasp over the problem? And so sometimes when we read your story, it appears you do not tell us the bad side. In Tanzania, what were the bad side which you overcame? Baby a honyen, baby a hoye dineno. Council kakra chere.
Oh, sir. Ejuma mafanda eboy ejuma. Epede is factory. Waraka say epede is factory. Nche, you don't have all the disciplines.
Yes. Yes.
A Ghanaian businessman will be very reluctant to hire somebody who has the capacity, the knowledge, the expertise to manage that business. Because if he say, Nipa no obano,
okay.
But the fact that you are an entrepreneur doesn't make you a manager.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
You are an entrepreneur. I have a son who dreams of new business ideas every day. So I said, Ishmael, you know, I need somebody to follow you, to take the ideas
and implement
and translate them into business.
Yes.
Because entrepreneurs, they think, they imagine things.
Forecast.
Yes. Right. But Ghanaian businessman, if you are an entrepreneur and a manager come, or your executive come, or no one is But when you have today, managing your cash is so critical to the success of any business in Ghana.
Cash, financial management.
Yeah. It's very important. Because so if you say, work with the bank account or 2 million or to whisker. But that is not cash. But when you tax our bit here, we inventory Nema wobekra. Who raw materials are over here. But the one who says can won't say me cash, who do sako boom. Then he said, I said, because Miniska made the year. Fine. Taking a loan is not a bad thing because in US you are actually taught to work with some other people's money.
Okay.
So, because it's cheaper for you.
Okay.
But look what Bob was saying now. I said, we'll make sure, say, we'll be the Ayajuba. And you are faso. I'm a work here, Cano. I'm an abroso. That's only way you create additional value. So arrived in Tanzania, I realized that the biggest obstacle the business had was that it has no relationship with government.
Okay.
But don't forget, Tanzania was a one-party state. Knowing government, engaging with government, because literally every factory belonged to the government. Right? I arrived. That year was the first year UAC ever got a government contract to import Caterpillar equipment, because we were Caterpillar dealers. And see, I realized that building engagement with government will crack the problem. Okay. Because once you have government orders to bring Caterpillar equipment, that's your business.
Wow. So do we say relationship?
Yes. You have to build that relationship. You also have to resolve the racial issue.
Okay.
You have to confront it, right? And that is why I managed to appoint Tanzanian directors to bring confidence into the Tanzania. Because the Tanzanians, if a Tanzanian enters a factory and there's a Tanzanian CEO, who will he talk to? Will he talk to your nation or you talk to Tanzania? So you need to understand what are those issues that will make this business grow, or what are the issues that will make this business stagnant. You need to understand. And then you need to then sit back and answer, so how would I resolve these issues? And see, business is not a one-day affair. You have to reimagine it, you have to refresh it, you have to refocus it all the time. Today, we are talking about artificial intelligence. We are talking about generative artificial intelligence. Every time, you know, no, so for crying, could you put me into impeaching? And who press a button and appreciate a cost.
But your me phone lines in that your bar. You ever heard how you left Tanzania, finally became chairman, and how you even got to the University of Ghana again, this time in another position? I want to ask that one. 025-625-3461. 025-625-3461. Our phone lines are open. Uncle Ishmael saying is here. A be friend and grandpa, yes, also your friend and daddy. A man we have all admired from afar. And today we are having the privilege of he telling us how his background has informed his future. More importantly, the word integrity, which he won from his grandfather and the Methodist trainer Unyaye. Says wako Tanzania, enchobe chairman. Chairman.
So, after 3.5 years, I got a call to come to London. Okay. And that was my 20th year in the company. Okay. And so I got there and I'm told the chairman in Ghana was...
So Collins, you are calling from Somanya. Oh, Collins, you are calling from Suhum.
Yes, please. Suhum.
Oh, Suhum. All right. Suhum, yes, we are listening to you.
In fact, yes, please. Yes, please. We've learned a lot from Grandpa as a Methodist and then statesman. We are all emulating what he's doing, and then we've learned something better from what his background and Afan. Old student from Afarley School, and then I am also an old student from Afarley School, and then after my from so I really appreciate him very well. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So apart from my friend, Grandpa now. Hey, chairman, now you are chairman. How did you navigate your chairmanship position? What were some of the major successes, and how did you end up in the University of Ghana again?
Yeah. Well, I came back as chairman literally the same month as the month I attended the interview.
All right.
And that was the period of great transition in Ghana.
Okay.
Because, and this was, I'm talking about 1986. If you recall, Ghana had gone through hardship, 81, 82, 83, 84. Yeah. We started the structural adjustment program, if you recall, economic recovery program under Dr. 𝗦chị𝗿𝗲.
Yes.
And so the huge transformation program. So I arrived in Ghana. 𝗟𝗟𝗡 was still the biggest, the largest, the most prosperous business in Ghana.
Yeah.
We had 26 divisions, huge operation. Literally, there was nothing, no business activity that 𝗟𝗟𝗡 was not involved.
Yeah.
We were in shipping, we were in advertising, we were
all over. We have a caller from Takrady. Lydia.
Brother.
Otindene.
I'm
Nyamnadum, ye too. Uncle too.
No man would TV do, I would say.
Aye, okay, ye too.
I don't want to know. What can you? Why a broken of Miss
You you're a man fancy.
You're a also.
Thank you. Yeah,
and see, maybe I need a dorsal companies in different Indonesia. Now, I was there the way I did a human. Yama, you and see, our manager, I wanna each a yama.
Okay.
Yipan on official yaman, another, oh, you been told, baby. And so I were returning, I wanted to know. After 84 now, yes, sir, structure agenda program and ne asin. We'll be there. We'll be able to make crying.
We have a Abeku again. Abeku, you are calling from Amprobi.
Good morning.
Morning, Uncle Teo.
Yeah, that class, what about here, better Abraham Vincent. But I want to ask a question. That whether he will agree with me, say they really enjoyed during their time.
They enjoyed.
Yes.
Okay.
To go to university and to go to your choice of course and to even have meals 5 times a day. And after they took over, it looks like they couldn't sustain it for us to go to university and also have meals 5 times a day.
All right, ask when they took over as what?
Our generation.
Yes, okay.
That.
All right, okay.
That's what I want to
Yes,
ask.
it's clearer. He himself has gotten in now. So, Uncle, when your generation took over as leaders, and as I said, at one point in time, back in investing in the helm of affairs, we didn't have even one food to eat.
That is true. No, Abeku, you are absolutely right. And as a generation at the time, I am very disappointed.
Yeah.
I never did politics, but I'm very, very disappointed that, and I can also say that we were a suffering generation.
Oh, okay.
Because when we left university, it took 22 years.
Okay.
Before we came to the end of military coup d'etats in Ghana. From 1986, from 1966, there were literally a new government every 22 months in Ghana, on the average.
Okay.
So that period, 22 years of instability.
Call it wasted years?
Wasted years, completely wasted years. Because we had liberators, we are redeemers, we are revolutionaries, we had all those people who came to save our lives. And we had civilian regimes who came to promise heaven and delivered hell. Right? So, Abeku, I agree with you. I am very disappointed with our generation. And I always say to my grandchildren, when you people ask me, and that's why I spend a lot of time sharing my thoughts.
Yes.
Because how would I answer to my grandchild when he says, so, Granddad, you were alive when all these things went on, and you never said a word, and you didn't do anything. And that's why I've been fearless about speaking about what is wrong in our society. Okay. So, Abeku, yes, I share your disappointment. And Mama Kinde, say, baby, you would do. Oh, yeah, didn't put in canon. Every generation has its own problems. We had our problems because we were hauled into jail. Today, you are not hauled into jail. No. Right? You don't have Prevent Detention Act, which we had. You had, yes. So every generation has its own problems. But what I can say in there, we have an obligation, the generations of today have obligation to change what's going on to Ghana and to Ghanaians today. Why am I saying this? And I'm sorry to digress from
it's fine. But we have a caller from the Volta region. Okay. So that we can... Oh, okay, right. It's off the line. Please, Grandpa.
Because... I'm saying this because my greatest worry today is about the leadership that our political system throws up. Okay. Because I can tell you, this country would change, will remain as it is, will be worse, depending on the leader that we have.
Yeah. Indeed, I have heard you made this comment somewhere, and you had said that at every point in time, once you speak so-called against the government, they think you are a certain political party. Oh, yes. So now MPP is in power, and when you talk, hey, or NDC, and during NDC, they thought you were.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I have gone through this many years, so it doesn't worry me anymore. I only speak the truth. Okay. Because, I mean, we all saw what happens in the selection of parliamentary leaders, members, even at the local district assembly level. So we buy leadership position. We buy it. Okay. We don't merit it. We don't choose people who merit. We choose people who can pay more for my vote. Now, so for you and I, if we want a better Ghana, then we should stop selling our own rights. Because remember, when the politician has come and paid and you have taken the money, he has no contract with you anymore. Right?
He's done.
He's done. Now it is for himself. Because he paid you. He paid you for the vote. Yeah. You took the money. That's the contract. After that, it's me and my family. So if we can change Ghana, and we can if we want to, then let's vote by our conscience. Look, in Europe, in America, in Europe in particular, and I lived in the UK before, no parliamentarian will vote in parliament without consulting his constituents. Okay. Right? In Ghana, who talks to the constituents? There are, after the vote, when they have voted and they have gone to parliament, many of them
they vanish until the next election.
I went to my village recently. Already the posters have started appearing. I said, what? So where are these people 4 years ago? And now they are appearing again? Yeah. So we have a huge problem on our hands. But unfortunately for us, those people who say they're foot soldiers, young men and women, no one knows the chin, the world sound, the world jedede, and I asked them, so what is the purpose for you doing this? What purpose do you have? I'm not saying you must belong to a political party. Okay. You must have a political ideology. You must have a conviction. But to what purpose?
To what purpose? We have Quarcoo on the line, Grandpa. Quarcoo, you are calling from Cape Coast.
Crazy.
Yeah, Adeshi.
Sophie, thank you very much. From day one, I was starting programming. I've been with you based on one or two reasons. Since I'm my chef to call, I'm sorry for but every day I've been watching you.
But your train. Based on one or two reasons, if you met this morning,
me feel cry, but my spirit is still in Methodist.
But you let the body come.
Methodist.
Please let the body come. We beg you. Uncle still we see a Methodist, so please let the body come. We are listening to you, please.
Yes. I have great impact in the program that you have been doing. From the one that you started this program, I've been watching you from morning to evening. And I thank Grandpa, whatever that he's saying has given me some source of
you have some ideas and inspiration.
I think and I've learned a whole lot from it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Please come back to the Methodist Church. There is a new spirit brewing. Please come back, okay? Come back. All right, Grandpa, you can continue.
Young generation, are you true? We have disappointed Ghanaians. There are still some of us still in politics. And my message to them is that I don't think we as Ghanaians want forever to be beggars, to be described as poor and highly indebted.
Yes.
It is enough. We need to begin to create a new hope for the generations that will come. We need to create a new identity, a new confidence. Because when I arrived in Tanzania, I was a confident Ghanaian. Right?
Yeah.
Because every African looked up to Ghana at that time. Today, it's all the same.
Yeah, Kobobo cry.
Well,
okay. Akom motimenka.
Metonka.
O kasafi ejuma ko yete o.
Masamanda papa na samorekano. Papa na samorekano. Or you true in Ghana now. But I don't know who select the so-called delegate. Because where I am, I've been in Tema. Now where I am, most of these delegates are riffraffs moving about, not working.
Okay.
They only force themselves into parties to be able to get their daily bread. And so if you have a way out, proper delegate, in Kwame Nkrumah time, they were called Valanda boys, isn't it? Now they are delegates. And they are causing a lot of problems. It's a shame that a delegate gets a TV for to vote, fridge, everything. What is it? Whom are we selecting to Parliament? What law can they pass? What law can they pass? So please, if the discussion will continue, for Ghanaians to understand that the so-called delegates are not functioning as they should be. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Grandpa. You may continue.
My member asked, I can't continue.
Yeah.
What's happening to the delegates, or the behavior of the delegates, is a direct reflection of the Ghanaian society. Because literally we have all become corrupt people. Right? And we have pushed them into that level that you call riffraffs. Because, why? When I finished school, I was confident because I had a hope
Okay.
And I knew I could deliver that hope because the people ruling the country at the time had interest in my future.
Okay.
So Nkrumah built, or I went to a GET school, Ghana Educational Trust School. And he built it for young people who were coming up. He wanted to give us skills. He wanted to give us knowledge. And see, if we will not produce riffraffs, should start from our government. Okay. Because it is the policies of government that will not produce the riffraffs. It is not, because nobody chooses to be a riffraff, and nobody ever chooses to be poor. Everybody is born to be Mr. Somebody or Madam Somebody. But the system will oppress the person. And that's why I'm worried about our leadership than anything else. But so if I relate this to business, many businesses prosper and many businesses die. I told you, when I saw in 𝗟𝗡 26 companies in a liberalized economy. Economy obiara to me cry bibiara obiara to me bibiara inyamanara webu ari show bi mo aboto o then na akaji discuss and autonomy. You see, the nature of management had to change at the time. So from a supplier economy to a buyer's economy. Now the buyer has power. You, the supplier, I am choosing to buy your soap or go and buy something else because there are alternatives. Just massive. And see, I realized there, and I'll relate it to our politicians. I realized that the skills, the values, the behaviors of the people at the time managing the company were totally inconsistent with what the environment demanded. Because the manager at that time was used to issuing checks. He wasn't used to going to talk to somebody to come into his office to come and buy goods.
Yeah, Papa, we have a call from Cape Coast. Let's pick this as our last caller, then we can wrap up. You are welcome. Isaac, you are welcome. Isaac cannot hear me. Isaac, can you hear me? All right, Isaac cannot hear me. So that will be all for now in terms of the calls. Papa, yeah, twice so now. Said the ahwefo ni age ade hu die nke be pa wa chewo say another time be anke convenient ma ubia, so that you see I am very particular about how your family life and your personal ethics will come into business. Today we have looked at the others, but these are very soft things that can collapse a whole business. And we also want to know some aspect of your life in that regard. Eti the way the say ahwefo ebe say a second dose of this in this month of February.
I will try. I'll give you time.
Please,
I'll give you time and come.
Thank you.
Now, my main, just to summarize.
Yes, summarize, please.
I think for everybody, whether a business, a family, a church, a country, you must have a purpose.
Okay.
Purpose. You must have integrity.
Integrity.
Because you see, everything, I say, we all a bundle of conscience. As you sit here, you know what is good and what is bad. If you go and kneel down to pray, if you are in the pulpit, if you are in parliament, you know that what you are saying, you will know whether it is the truth or it is not the truth. Whether you are deceiving people or you are not deceiving people. It is your integrity, it's your conscience that you should live by. And if you have a purpose and you have integrity and your behaviors align with your integrity, I don't see how you cannot succeed. No matter where you are. Because you don't go and say to people, I've come to make you better. And then you put up a behavior which shows that you are rather stealing all the money that will make other people feel better.
Poorer and poorer.
They are misaligned. You see, Mama can't say what time okay.
Oh yes, you have the final. But let me read these comments for you so that you can give me my last. God bless you, Dr. Yamson. He is a visionary leader. Listening to him has always been a pleasure. On his 80th birthday, I brought the Business and Financial Times, which had extensive write-up about him. And this is also somebody, he said, I'm a young man, a Methodist, and working with Deloitte United Kingdom as an audit manager. I wish I can have him as a mentor. Does he mind sharing his contact? Well, not on the screen. You can contact me personally and I can give that to you. And somebody is also talking, what is the Methodist Church not doing right as membership drive? So this is what somebody is also saying. Maybe your comment on that vis-a-vis business near the wrap up.
You know, my comment on that is very straightforward. Last year, I spoke at the annual conference of the lay movement. It was
also for Adzika lectures.
Yes, Adzika lectures.
Yes.
This was at 𝗟𝗡𝗙.
𝗟𝗡𝗙, yes.
And my main concern was about membership drive.
Okay.
Because I said to the Methodist Church generally, we had a strategic plan. That's why when we tried to say, I was laughing.
Okay.
We said we're growing our numbers from 960,000 to 1.2 million, and we'll do so over 7 years.
Yeah.
Halfway, we have not gone up. We have gone from 960,000 to 670,000. So instead of gaining membership, we have lost membership.
Okay.
My question was why?
Okay.
That's one. Two, who are the members who are leaving? And why are they leaving? And what must we do to bring them back? You heard that lady say, as one or two things being see, Minfi Better Church,
yeah.
Baby.
Yeah, Papa. Interestingly, I'm the manager of the strategic plan.
Oh, okay.
That is right. And the figures are now 900,000 and above. So the 600, we realized that we had yes, it was wrong. We hadn't added the diasporians and the ministers.
Okay,
but now we've added them, and then now we are 900 above. So a little 1 million.
That is true.
Yes.
The 900 above still means that over 7 years,
yes,
we haven't delivered our plans.
Yes.
If you were in a business, you would be interrogated. Why you have not delivered over a 7-year period. But I'm happy that we are 900
yes,
something.
Yes, that's good. Yeah.
But we must deliver the 1.2 million.
Yes.
And we need to be honest with ourselves to say, why are we not delivering? Every Methodist church I have been.
Yes, continue, please.
I see more old people than young people.
Yes.
And if you look at our, and I'm sorry because I'm a patron of the choir. Look at the profile of our choristers.
Yes.
Society by society by society. You go to church and you have the old people, us, sitting in front. The young people are at the back, right? No, about 3 months ago, I chose to sit at the back just to observe the young people. But they don't pay any attention. They only are happy when they say they should go and put in the offer tray and dance. They can dance.
They can dance. They are on their phones.
And their phones and doing everything at the back. But traditionally in the Methodist Church, young people have been asked to sit at the back. And we are not prepared to change that, even today. So the young people always think that they are the afterthought. They are not at the center. And in business, we say, what is your core target? What is it that you would dream about it when you sleep? So are we dreaming about bringing young people to the Methodist Church? And if so, what will we do for a young person to wake up one morning and say, I'm going to the Methodist Church? what must we do to say to a young person, now I'm here, I'm not going anywhere again. And then I'm going to bring other friends. Last Sunday, I drove by a church, one of these churches. Literally everybody I saw was 30, 35 age.
A young person.
Young person. That was the profile. And there were many. This was after first service. And I said, but I want to see the same thing in my society, in Methodist church. Yes. I want to see more, because the future of this church is not me. Right? The future of this church is the young people. But they have to come and take our place when we are gone.
Wow. we want to thank you so much. I mean, your conclusion is very instructive. I know for some time now, some of you elderly people are talking about empowering the young people, both in business and both in the church. And I've also heard you make this comment in both aspects. The church and business must marry. Young people must be concentrated and they must be capacitated to take leadership role. We want to thank our father, grandpa, so much. Uncle Ishmael Evans Yamson, who is chairman of Yamson and Associates, also a member of the Calvary Society Adabraka Society. We are grateful, Uncle, and we will be expecting you. The next time you give us the date, we'll arrange and have another beautiful session with you. Thank you so much, dear viewers.
Don't call me. WTV Bronya Braimu Emma Akwanya Sonko 𝗟𝗏𝗘𝗿𝗘 80% discount and your demo our side to the yimu. A free sabre equasi January bosome ida a chato. Bra suku na wo. E dana wudie. Juma biara we are opese ebo hu dawuro no. Ye ma 80% discount. Ani 80% discount. Bra betua kakra bi na ye mo dawuro ma. From peninfo our telephone number is so 0240 847864.
Lift your hands to the Lord, to the right, to the left, to the right, to the left. Give the Lord a thank. We need you, Lord. Lift your voice and say, our gracious Lord, no tender voice like thine. Every hour.
Today I dancing well. We want to say hi to Ifa Dennis, Emmanuel Ifa Dennis, the director of Afarley Printing and Publications. We are so grateful for facilitating the coming of our father, Grandpa 𝗟𝗏𝗘 to our studios. Yeah, that's a papa. Now,
yes,
we are ended.
Yeah, we want to say, want to greet the people of the finance department as well.
Okay.
And of course, CP.
Okay. In fact, we greet everybody. We greet everybody. We greet everybody. It's
everyone, every member of the Wesley Towers. Yes. We're greeting everyone.
Methodist Church, we are growing from victory to victory. Look,
into it. Yeah.
Our numbers are stabilizing, but we are still going to make sure we target the young people and we'll keep pushing and pushing and pushing. Let's all be together. Now, let's say hi to our sponsors.
Thank you to our sponsors, 𝗟𝗏𝗘 Insurance, the Methodist University Ghana, Multi-Credit Savings and Loans, KFK Foods, and 𝗟𝗏𝗃 Natural Spices. Without you, we wouldn't be here, so we'll say a very big thank you to you. As the month ends, we hope and we pray that we would have businesses that would bring us much, much more prosperity. And tomorrow... I'm super proud to be a part of the 5th anniversary. I wasn't here from the inception, but I'm happy. I'm happy to join the family.
Cake.
Yes, Iricha cake. Cake.
All right.
So tomorrow WTV is
pop champagne.
5 years. We're going to pop champagne. We are going to have fun here. So tomorrow, do well to join us. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your loved ones about it, and join us tomorrow on this session. And it's going to be amazing. Promise to be something spectacular. So we'll see you same time tomorrow morning. Before then, enjoy the rest of our program. And bye.